I killed those people. This is a confession. This is a confession. I killed those people. This is a confession. Confession. Killed those people. This is a confession. I killed those people.
There will be no fun, and we know. I mean, we are not gonna talk you about.
Kill those people.
When someone says I'm late for something, men actually automatically think about their period.
Kill those people. Kill those people. This is a confession. I killed the sweet shit. Kill. Those sweet shit.
Well, that's a whole lot of nonsense.
Yep. This is a confession. This is a confession. This is a confession. This is a confession. I killed those people. This is a confession. This is a confession. I killed those people. This is a confession. Confession. Killed those people. This is a confession. I killed those people.
There will be no fun, and we know. I mean, we are not gonna talk you about.
Kill those people.
When someone says I'm late for something, men actually automatically think about their period.
Oh.
Kill those people. Kill those people. This is a confession. I killed the sweet shit. Kill. Those sweet shit.
Well, that's a whole lot of nonsense.
Yep. This is a confession. This is a confession. This is a confession. I killed those people. This is a confession.
What's up?
Quick, Steven, we have to fill 15 minutes of dead air.
This is a confession.
Oh God. Don't know. Do it. Oi! Oi!
Oi! Oi! Oi! Oi! Oi!
Oi!
So, have you guys watched the Grand Budapest?
No, actually, I'm just gonna wing it.
You suck!
You know,
I'm not
I've
gonna-
seen Hotel Transylvania, so I figured that the facts from that would transfer over because they're both about
I mean,
hotels.
they're kind of.
Wait, were we not supposed to watch Hotel Transylvania?
Oh,
Oh.
Yikes! I like their vampire parts.
Yo, I think my favorite actor in the Grand Budapest Hotel was Adam Sandler.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, the best actor in the world, eh?
wait a minute.
Am I right? Am I right? So I guess we can talk about Hotel Transylvania until Andrew get here.
This is true.
I'll be honest. I haven't seen it, so
I haven't either.
You haven't seen
So-
the Hotel Transylvania? Oh,
I know Roka
I
has.
haven't. I know Roka has. We all know Roka has, but he's not here right now. So
Damn.
our resident Hotel Transylvania expert.
it's not really worth it.
Oh, what about the sequel?
I didn't watch it.
What
Which
the hell?
one?
How can you call yourself a Hotel Transylvania fan if you haven't seen all 3 movies?
True.
So we're going to be delaying our discussion for a little bit because Andrew said he was going to be 15 minutes late.
Ew, Andrew, ew.
Who's this man in the background?
Everybody has a man behind them. So let's see.
No.
Steven, you have Mike.
Who's that guy?
That's Jay Bauman, I think it is. These are the Red Letter Media guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Let me see here. Where are you, Steven? There you are. Wait, there you are.
Where are any of us?
Oh wait, the chair is also blocking him. But
Huzzah.
because you had such an awkward position, I was like, this isn't enough to cover the guy unless I make Steven gigantic, which that would just look ridiculous if there was someone gigantic in this scene. So
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever do
Yeah.
something like that. That would just be crazy.
yeah. And then we
Is it
got
just me?
Chris, or what's his name?
There
Rich
you go.
Evans. I was about to say Chris Evans. I'm like, that's not right.
Chris Evans.
Chris
is in
Evans
what-
really let himself go.
Oh.
Is it just weird? It looks like weirdly Steven is connected to this mama, animated mama.
Oh, that's on purpose. That's
Oh,
Mrs. Brisby's
That's
dumpy.
intentional.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah,
look at
from
that.
Secret of Nim. Yeah, you missed out on Andrew and Jared's favorite movie, The Secret of Nim.
Oh, I see. Hey,
Actually,
at
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. But
Nope.
I think it still ended up getting a fairly low average.
I think I still rated it positive, right? I think it was a 5.
Do something like that. I
Yeah.
think I gave it some. I know Andrew gave it like
In
a
the
3 or a
I
4
think
or
I
something.
gave it the same score as Encanto, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, but when we
Encanto,
actually
ew.
when we eventually do our tier list, we're gonna have to
Oh,
actually
yeah.
put them against each other,
Ooh.
and all of our ratings go out the window at that point.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it was a 5 out of 10 for me.
I've never heard of this movie. What is the name?
The Secret of
Secret of
Nim.
Nim.
NIMH. Say confession. Thank you. Yes, this is our only opportunity to do this.
Yeah. Also, Jared, I don't know if it's just me, but your mic sounds different right now. Like, you sound louder and echoier. Not like echoier, but like,
Oh, it's like an old movie.
yeah, it's from the 80s, but I don't know.
Oh, I sound
Jerry,
good. Let's see.
Damn.
Does Jared sound
Whoa.
normal to you?
That
How about
sounds
that?
fine.
That's better. Did you have the gain up?
Yeah, the gain just was randomly up. I think it like auto modulates whenever I go on like Microsoft Teams or like Zoom, which is annoying.
Gotcha.
Ah, hi.
Yeah, it sounds
At least
normal on your
something
end,
is right.
Mastiff, because your stuff or my mic is filtered through a bunch of
Yeah, it's got
voice
like
effects
compressors and
on
stuff
stream,
on it.
but not on Discord.
Yeah, and I don't think I could bear listening to Jared's
Wait, hang on.
up gain voice for the entire time.
Maybe I
Game
can,
Boys.
Let's see here. Ooh. Maybe now you guys can hear the filters. Who knows?
Filter yourself.
Do it.
I kill those. Well, I think he did it, but nothing changed.
Commission.
so it doesn't matter.
You have enough filters on to make it moderately tolerable. Nice. That's the plan. And you'd be surprised at how much time and effort it took for me to get there. Many
That's like the
iterations.
bar. That's the bar we set with the stream is moderately tolerable.
It has
That's
taken
kind of what we strive for.
dozens of iterations of me twisting knobs and fiddling with things. And
I'm,
this
I'm
is
not
what
sure
I have to show
Massive
for it.
checked our older like early days of stream.
Oh my god,
but
man.
if you watch them, you know it's like a big leap.
Oh my god, yeah.
Mastiff,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen. Has Mastiff seen any of our old, like really old stuff?
I don't know
Do
if
you
he
know?
was ever around when I showed that stuff. Maybe? Oh, it was bad though.
We'll have to do a Cabbage Crew reacts to old cabbages
Oh my
at some
god.
point.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Cabbages through the ages.
Yeah, we'll just walk through memory lane. Maybe that's when we release the lost videos from the vault.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I can actually wait to check it.
I know. We'll have to wait for a special occasion though.
Yeah, special.
So the
occasion.
highlights video of the first song
That was good.
horror. Yeah, yep. Yeah, that would do it. That's a pretty
That's not even the worst.
that's not the
It
worst.
counts,
That's-
though. Now,
was actually,
Alien
like, in the middle of
Isolation,
the
that's
process.
like
Alien
pure
Isolation
garbage.
was pretty bad, and there's highlights of that
Ooh.
And the
entire
Legend
thing.
of Evil. Oh, don't even talk about Legend of Evil.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh,
only
Resident Evil was
one little
actual
clip.
trash.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
I don't even count that because we
that
were
was
barely even
day
streaming
one.
at that point.
Day one.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just us. We can't actually call it stream.
that's true. It was literally just Jared
Just
streaming
us.
to us.
It was meant to
Yeah.
be that. Yeah, that was pre
Yeah.
parsec.
And then other people started watching. It was weird.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't
Why?
understand that. I don't get it.
Oh, this clip actually right here is a pretty good, even though it's not like old. It's a pretty good representation.
It must be, we actually started this streaming because of the COVID. We used to like meet every weekend, having some fun time, and
Oh, yeah.
because of the COVID, we couldn't do that. So we started, Gerald started streaming so we could enjoy together.
Jared realized he wanted to try to be famous, and this was
Yes.
his only way he knew how to do it.
Yeah, you're famous. You're famous.
One
Check
day
this website.
it'll happen.
One day.
Weirdly, the spam hasn't appeared in quite a while. Oh Jesus Christ!
That's a good. That's basically a good encapsulation of our content.
Oh hell yeah, we did.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus Christ!
It was all an
Fine.
intentional bit. We were doing that on purpose.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
for the
every
laughs.
little mess up we do is always on purpose.
If you ever
Yeah,
wonder,
make you guys annoyed.
if you ever wonder if we're idiots, the answer is no. We're just making it seem like we're idiots. We would never be that stupid.
I'm actually genius.
Yeah.
There's a lot of proof that there's a lot of proof footage
Oh yes,
I can show you.
Jerry
Yeah, Jerry's a
always
genius
means
because he
every
picked-
single
he
word
picked-
he says.
And he picked the pencil when he was
No,
a baby
that-
or something.
Yeah.
not
so
that.
That's
No,
why he's a
not-
genius.
Not that. I didn't mean that.
Yes, you did.
We got some fancy hotel music. Fitting.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh, I feel like I'm in a hotel.
Good,
5-star hotel.
'cause we're about to review the Sweet Life.
Oh,
So sweet.
hell.
So why y'all tripping? Now, oh man, I was gonna ask even just like a tangential question about the movie, but I should probably save it.
Yeah.
It's not really related to the movie, but it's related to the director. But we can wait till the actual.
Yeah.
We can wait till the
I
actual
definitely have some
conversation
thoughts.
to get into that.
How about we talk a little about the movie, like overall building until Andrew gets here?
Nah, we'll get too deep into the weeds for sure.
Well, we very easily just go off and we'll just talk.
True,
about it.
true. Yeah, I cannot argue with that.
Quick, someone think of a topic for us to talk about. Now, do it.
I don't know. Dinner for me, lunch.
Ooh, yeah, what'd you eat
dinner.
for lunch?
It was more like actually breakfast. There was like a 1 block
Change
away.
your story.
There was like a new toast restaurant. It's like a French toast restaurant, so I checked it out. Well, it proves that they were actually pretty good.
Nice.
They used a lot of egg to make it like a scrambled egg inside the toast, and they actually put some bulgogi in the toast with some kind of like a spicy, sweet
Doesn't
sauce.
sound like
They
French
just
toast
stuff
anymore,
this
but-
toast? Like,
No, you mean, yeah, if you think about it, this is Korea. Everybody can be French if you call it just French.
That's true.
If you put French in front of the word.
Well, I was gonna say, Jerry, you know there's cinnamon in French toast, right? But it sounds like you might have had something that didn't have cinnamon in it.
Cinnamon, fucking, I love cinnamon now. I
Good.
only
I know.
drink,
good.
I only drink cappuccino.
Oh, look at
now.
you.
Nice.
Yeah, like
Wow.
with cinnamon, what is that? Cinnamon stuff in the
Cinnamon sugar?
cappuccinos. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't drink
something
cappuccino
like
or
that.
any coffee sort of thing.
Yeah. By the way,
Coffee's
yeah,
disgusting and stupid.
yeah, the French. If you put French in front of my name,
Yeah.
I become French in Korea. Like a French
French
Jerry.
Can you
you're
can you
French?
give me your
Something like
best?
that.
Can you give me your best French accent, Jerry?
Oh, you motherfucker! No, I'm not gonna do that. Because
Also,
I know the fact that I'm gonna be in the museum, like
Garrett's
like
got
a
his
Jerry
finger on the
Soundwood
clip button.
Museum.
No.
No.
we're starting a whole new museum. Wow. Also, the French Jerry, like a French Jerry, sounds like a dirty word.
Oh,
Someone's gonna give you a French
I actually
Jerry.
thought about it. Yeah,
Ooh.
okay. You
Oh.
French Jerry? No
Like a Dutch
way.
rudder.
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, how about you guys? What did you have for dinner?
McDonald's.
I had some burgers.
I
Oh, you had
didn't have
McDonald's?
I didn't
Well,
have
had
enough
homemade
time
hamburgers.
to make food today, so I had McDonald's.
Hey, McDonald's is a decent meal. I don't know.
It's a filling meal.
I'm not opposed to that. Yeah.
That's about all it
I've
is.
got-
Quick and filling.
I've gotten making hamburgers down to a science where by the time the fries are done in the oven, everything else is done and it comes out like all at the same time. So
What?
I'm
I mean,
pretty-
did
I'm
you make
pretty
the
good.
hamburger?
Yeah, I made burgers. I made a
He killed the cow
I
and
made
everything.
a double cheeseburger with grilled onions on a brioche bun.
Ooh, greasy but good. In a good
It
way.
was very greasy, especially since I cooked the onions in the hamburger grease after
Oh.
the
Jesus
patties.
Christ, that's like a.
So, heart
sure it was
attack
fluted.
incoming, but no, it was delicious.
Fancy
Oh
man
yeah,
over
that sounds
here.
pretty good, man. Yeah. Oh, Pansy Man, I hate Pansy Man. Don't do that. Don't ever do
Yeah,
that.
well,
again.
man.
I wouldn't call my hamburgers fancy.
At least I didn't have any
More like
sand in it.
greasy.
Hey, that sand
Oh,
elevated the
Sandy
flavors.
Burger.
Mhm.
Oh,
Those
I
are the
missed
best
it a lot.
burgers I've ever made. So.
It was actually the best burger. I mean, we enjoyed it a lot. I mean,
I
more
put a
than
lot
we
of-
expected.
I put a lot of love into those burgers.
Oh
And
yeah,
Now you're trying to throw the sand in my eye that should have
Love
been
and
inside the
sand,
burger.
yeah.
love
Yeah.
made it the best.
True.
Let me
My
see.
sandy
Oh.
love.
Sandy love with the. Did you actually drink the Olympia at that time?
I
I
think
think
we
we had a look at
did. I think we
Yeah.
did.
We definitely.
That was almost a must
think
for
we would-
us.
I feel like we only actually had Olympia like a couple times.
Yeah, like 3 or 4
After,
times.
after we found out we liked it, it was never at the store anymore.
Mhm.
No,
Like at Bevmo. It was like,
I'm-
oh well, this sucks.
I actually miss them.
It's the
In
water.
Korea, we only have like a bottle Budweiser, American beer. We only have like a Budweiser in normal store. If I
Yeah.
want something special from USA, I gotta go like all the way 1 hour distance to get some like a special beer
Oh,
from
Lord.
Oh
the
yeah.
other country.
Yeah.
Because we have our own beer, and
Well, of course.
we got
You don't wanna
Korean.
drink this American shit.
We Korea got used to our beer, so American beer tastes a little bit different.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely does.
Yeah, so I have like a 12 pack of Budweiser always ready in my refrigerator.
Just in
You
case
never-
you want to
you
feel
never
like
know.
you're in America again.
Yeah,
No one is
yeah,
coming handy.
yep. That's the case.
Those were the good old days, though.
Ah, Olympia, it's the water.
It's the water.
It's the water.
It's the water.
It's that classic can that you always find in like the woods or something that people littered Just that it's like.
Oh yeah, it's the
can that looks-
quintessential like crushed can on a trail path beer.
Yeah. So
Exactly,
that's
yeah.
kind of the main reason we liked it. So
Is there something in Jerry's hat from Jared's cam?
to your
Oh,
your
look at that.
green
Yeah.
screen.
Look at that.
Good eye. Good eye.
Good eye. Well, it's also just like crushing Jerry. Why does this camera do this?
Stop it!
I want to know why.
Fix it, Jared.
I'll
fix
fix it. I'll fix it.
Also, I want to point out that Andrew's 5 minutes late. What a piece of shit.
Damn it, Andrew.
You
I
said
hate him.
15 minutes, and I believed in you.
He did, and he's a stupid cocksucker because he's not here.
All right, that's pretty good.
You cocksucker.
He's
Just
probably
because of that, we're not going to let him talk the entire time of the movie discussion. He just has to listen to our opinions, and he's not allowed to say anything.
Yep.
Which is the worst punishment for someone like Andrew, not being able to give his opinion about something.
Ah.
I actually have like that idea. No. You are not supposed to
No.
talk
You
about
shut up.
anything. Yeah, you're late. So this
You
is your
gotta
punishment.
just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you gotta just listen to our opinion. Okay.
I do have enough
From now on.
points to mute him for the entire stream.
There you go.
So
True.
definitely do that.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd ever come back. He'd be so upset.
He isn't, but he isn't really one to like hold a grudge.
Jesus Christ.
Andrew's the biggest bitch I know. He definitely holds a grudge.
Well, let's say he's got strong opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's
I-
put it that way.
I would describe him as an opinionated person, which I have never used.
Opinionated.
Which I've never used to describe someone positively.
Yeah, everyone, shush.
We were definitely not talking about you.
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Hello?
You sound like you just woke up.
No, shut up. He's muted. He's muted.
He's muted. So, all right.
I'm muted? Oh,
You're
what?
muted.
You are. Just shut your goddamn mouth. You muted.
Yeah, you're muted for
Bitch.
1 minute
God.
now.
We could go all night, baby. All right. So, anyways, let's get started with the movie
back to
discussion.
the topic at
Alright,
hand,
now
really
Andrew's
though.
back.
Now
Now
that Andrew
let's
can't
listen
speak,
to it.
let's talk about the Grand Budapest Hotel.
So
So I guess
gonna
the question
start.
I was going to ask, like earlier, this is like the only Wes Anderson movie you've ever seen, right? Jared?
I've seen Isle of Dogs before this. That's the only other one.
Okay.
This is the first
this is-
movie for
This is
now
the
for
first
me.
like actual like live action
Yes.
classic Wes style.
To my knowledge, yes. Let me double check
Yeah.
that though. IMDb Wes Anderson. Andrew's been released from his burden.
No,
let's go.
let's mute me a little longer so we can delay this just a little bit more. I don't think that I've put enough of a delay in our discussion.
Well, we were saying that as punishment for you being late, we were going to mute you the entire time, which is probably the biggest punishment we can have. Is silencing you is probably the
Biggest
worst thing.
punishment.
I don't know if I could actually handle that.
I don't think you could.
It would be
I told him that you
especially-
would. I told him you'd never come back if we did that to you.
Yeah, just
So
sit
so
down and
actually-
listen to our shit.
If you like maliciously were like, I'm muting this asshole.
Yeah.
It would be hard for me to not take
Andrew,
that
calm
personally.
down. Calm down, Andrew. Calm
I
down.
think I have
Stop
something
being
to
hysterical.
say. I'm not the crazy one.
I'm not crazy. He's crazy.
You are being unreasonable. Stop it, Andrew.
You made me this way.
Da-da-da. The Grand Budapest Hotel.
I probably won't
A long time.
delay us any further by explaining why I'm late or anything like that.
I would actually
That's
love
okay.
to hear it.
I don't really care.
I mean, it's not like super interesting, but it certainly would take up more time and like probably send us down. topic.
Michigan.
Oh, I was actually,
Oh,
but
Yeah. The only reason I knew that is because Mom was texting me. She's like, "Oh, we had dinner with or lunch with Andrew." I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
all right." I didn't know he was there.
Wait, you are in Michigan right now?
No. I'm back.
Just got back.
but-
Oh, you're
but
back.
That's,
Okay.
That's why. And I'll also just since we're about to get into the subject, I just watched Grand Budapest Hotel.
I just watched it this
that's why
afternoon.
you're
Actually,
right.
I watched it yesterday like a
Oh.
good little boy.
I had
would
stuff
have
to do
loved
yesterday.
to watch it not right like the minute before, and then like after 6 o'clock even. But you know,
So you were, so when you said 15 minutes, that was you looking at the time left on
Yes.
the movie and being like,
Yes.
all right, that's
When I
probably enough credits, and then you just misjudged the amount of credits that were in there or something.
yeah, when I was starting the movie, I'm like, okay, like this should be enough for me to like finish and then get into my room and set up.
Yeah.
Because I literally got home with food, sat down, and then started to watch, but I hadn't turned my computer on or anything. I'm like, okay, this should be good.
Oh,
I'm literally I get home from the airport, eat, movie, stream.
Woof.
All right.
Right then.
And I'll also let you know that I've literally just been talking for the last like 4 days straight. My entire life has been conversation from Tuesday early, like 4 a.m. Tuesday morning until this very point now, and that includes the flight. So
Oh my god.
You're all warmed up.
So if y'all are worried about me taking too much vocal time, just know I don't even have the energy for it. So this will be a nice, quiet day for Andrew.
thank God.
All right, so somebody mute Andrew just to hold him to his word.
No, if you do that, I'm gone. That would have been a great time to actually cut me off.
The literal moments I get muted, I'm gone.
I believe.
I mean, basically, at this
Everyone's just
moment,
smashing their
muting you is like
keyboards to
doing
mute
you a
him as
favor.
fast as possible.
Mute him.
I only find value in the stream when I hear my own voice. So
Oh.
So like a half of the stream, that means.
I actually have a filter on Discord that makes everyone else's voices sound like my own, so it sounds like I'm just
that's-
talking to myself.
that
Advanced.
would be an amazing. Actually, can we make that? That's really interesting.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's possible.
That would freak me out. What if you could turn that on someone without them knowing?
Oh my
That would be
god.
scary.
Ooh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I
Jared,
enjoy my
quickly,
sexy voice.
quickly make an AI that can like swap our voices.
Oh,
Hey,
you
Jared,
got
I
it.
have this idea for an app. You make games, so you
Yep.
should be able to help.
Yeah,
me.
you're a tech guy.
Yeah, you're a computer whiz, right?
You like computers.
You got like there's a
I'm in.
gateway. You're a gateway PC. I'm in.
Yahoo Mail is something I've been hearing good things about.
There's been some buzz about this AIM. I'm not sure what it is.
It
Sounds
sounds
like
fun.
movie coding. Straight out of Hackers. I learned it from
How
watching.
happy were you all
Hackers.
to see Mr. the Plague?
Oh, the
in this
plague! He was
movie?
in there.
How happy
Wait,
that?
who
was
was he? Because
very
there was
happy.
some people where I'm
He
just
was
like,
one of
he looks
the-
familiar. Was he one
He
of
was
the?
one of the cross
He was one of
keys.
cross
Okay,
keys guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are some of the people in that scene where I'm just like, I feel like I know this guy.
They were all.
obviously-
they were all famous.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bill Murray is
Right.
like the
Yeah.
most famous
Yeah.
one out of all of them.
I was
One of
actually
them-
surprised there were so many people that I can acknowledge, like I
A lot of
know.
famous people.
Yeah, a lot of famous people. I
There's
was
definitely like the core group that loves working with Wes Anderson, but there were some like faces that I wasn't prepared to see either.
I was actually freaked out that I found out that Old Woman was Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that
And that was like a
Like I was watching
I was like-
Snowpiercer all over again.
Hey, yay.
Don't mess with me. Morgan Freeman wasn't in this movie.
Well,
no, he was in there.
he was in the
Don't
shootout
mess with
scene.
me.
Damn,
The ex-
Andrew, how
the
dare you?
extended cut. You guys watched the extended cut, right? Like that's what.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah.
The 3-hour director's cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you saw, I saw. So whatever you
Yeah,
say, whatever
I
you say, I'll
definitely-
just
I
agree
definitely
because I also saw it. There's no reason for me to disagree.
So we can get started.
Okay.
I guess.
Finally, after 30 minutes.
I
This is
listen.
par
I
for,
apologize.
this is par for the course,
Honestly-
actually, Jerry.
Honestly,
We're actually ahead of schedule.
Not our slowest. We are technically ahead of schedule. Usually we talk for like an hour.
Yeah.
True. So
And
good.
like I said, I'm not gonna poison anymore the beginning of the stream by getting into details.
It's too early. People aren't even here yet.
Massive, wait, it's not cool like to start. See, that's the thing. We get less and less cool the more on time we start.
We ever cool?
Which is saying a
We
lot
have
considering our
potential
starting point.
cool. Potential.
That's
cool.
a very scary that getting less cool.
Yeah. Try not to
Zero
think about
cool?
it. Zero cool.
Zero cool.
Zero cool.
You know, I found out recently that I work with someone who went to that high school where they shot hackers.
No shit. How the hell did you find that out?
Wow.
Well, this guy was talking to him about because he lived in New York. And
Yeah.
he was just talking about like, oh yeah, like this, like I went to school like in the city, like it was actually where they shot hackers, and he brought it up organically. I'm like, yo, hackers. He's like, oh, you know that movie?
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
like,
Yeah.
he was there like when they were shooting, and like they were like he missed the chance to be an
He was
extra. I'm like,
there?
oh, you got it.
Oh, that's my dream.
You gotta be
My
kidding
dream
me.
is to
shooting
go
this
back in
movie.
time and being hackers.
Right?
I want
Dude,
it.
if they were gonna shoot any movie in your high school, wouldn't you have just been like, yeah, why not?
Oh.
Why wouldn't I be an extra?
Oh yeah,
Right?
that would have been awesome.
Like
sure.
Diesel, where you like somehow just randomly an extra in multiple movies.
It's
I always forget that's a weird fact about him, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he
He's either
kept
that,
bringing
or he was in a bunch of porn movies. It was one of the two.
Porque no
Well, I
los
know I've
dos.
seen him somewhere on the internet, and I saw a lot of penis, but those might have been just the private messages that he sends me.
Oh, on the down
Oops.
low. Oh no, that was meant for
Arr,
someone else.
are we live? Oh, grr.
Oh,
Shit.
But yes, Grand Budapest Hotel. I, like Andrew, just saw this today because I had
Amazing.
Oh my
some
God.
That
things
makes
to
me
do
feel a little-
last
You-
Thursday
you have
that I
vivid
couldn't watch
memory
on
now.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not sure if it's just my current state of mind this past week or if it's something else, but my first thoughts on this movie are going to sound bad. But I mean them, but I mean them in the nicest, most genuine way possible.
Okay.
I hate it already.
And I'm basically going to be using this entire review session to explain it.
I'm getting real mad already.
I know.
Is anyone else getting hot?
For
I'm
me,
getting,
like,
I have to
getting
turn my
hot.
fan on. Oh, we gotta
This-
drink some cold water. I gotta cool
Let's
down.
get the AC going.
Yeah.
Move
I
the
gotta
fridge
operate
into the
my
room.
air conditioner.
I'm getting hot.
Yeah.
this movie
Oh,
for me.
I did know going into this that Jared would either really like Wes Anderson or really not like Wes Anderson. So we'll see which one it is based on his explanation.
Oh boy.
Yes. So
There's no middling on Wes Anderson. I'll be honest.
Here's
There's
the thing-
always
okay.
a one or the other.
I'll,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, I
preface
can
it with
see that.
this then. I really liked this movie.
Okay.
So there you go. There's that.
All
Right
right.
off the
There's
bat.
always
I'm
but,
less-
though. There's
less
always
angry.
but, though. But.
Less.
Okay. But this movie was exhausting to watch because I was constantly plugged in the entire time and trying to take in every single detail that was happening
Right.
all the time. And then by the end of it, like
Yeah.
my brain
Yeah.
was kind of fried. So
I
really
there's
enjoyed
a
the whole
lot of
process.
stuff happening.
yeah,
in
I
that
really
movie. It's
enjoyed the
crazy.
whole process and the visuals and everything about the movie. But I probably am not going to watch it again for a while. I'll have to be in the mood to watch it again because I need to like be
That's
prepared.
Yeah.
You
that's
know?
kind of the point that I was gonna make is like
Oh,
pretty much all Wes Anderson movies. You kind of have to be in a Wes Anderson mood to
Yeah.
watch them. They're not just like comfort food watches. You have to
Oh,
kind of
absolutely
be in
not.
that mindset.
yeah.
So it's been long enough because I'd already seen this movie, but
Okay.
it's been long enough between viewings. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about like
Yeah,
most of
this
the
was
stuff.
pretty
It was,
fresh for me as well.
It was a nice thing to like go back and watch. Like I knew like the major things that happened, but all
Uh-huh.
like the little stuff.
yeah.
Core story.
I literally
that happened.
I literally went into this movie like it was on HBO Max and I just clicked on it as fast as I could to make sure I didn't see any sort of like trailers or descriptions or actors or anything. I
nice.
went in like just stone cold blind.
Nice.
Cool.
So I had a lot of paying attention to do.
oh
it was
yeah,
exhausting.
Yes,
yeah.
you did.
What were you gonna say,
especially
Jerry?
if you especially if you're not used to this type of movie.
That style
I
is a very
can-
unique
I
style.
can
Must have
see
been right
why
away.
I
It
can
was
see why
very, very unique.
filmmakers love Wes Anderson. It definitely seems like
Yeah.
a director for filmmakers because there's a lot of
Yes.
things that I was
Very much
trying to pay attention to, but I'm still like I swear I probably still missed like maybe 20% of the important stuff because I was too busy trying to pay attention to everything. Like for
Yeah.
Like the dialogue can be pretty quick. Like the
Yeah.
camera like movements can be quick. Like the things they're showing you.
Like, but
trying
even-
to get a lot of information past your eyes and ears. At once.
even like the big
Yeah.
obvious things like when it said like so and so's had found in a laundry basket and they pulled it out and they showed it and it was like, oh shit, that's the pastry girl. And then it wasn't until
It's
they
not-
showed
it's
her
not.
later in the movie, I was like, oh, wait, that wasn't. Oh.
Yeah.
A little
Up until
twist.
they pull the
Up until
head
there's like
out,
a
you're
little
supposed to
twist.
think that it's her.
Yeah.
But it's actually Serge's sister.
I
Yeah.
had to look that up on IMDb because I just didn't know. Dude,
Aw.
my brain was
Big
firing
old
on all
Mexico
cylinders.
Shaped, like Mexico-shaped
I know.
birthmark on her face.
Well, no,
I know. Dude,
you
I'm not
knew in the
trying to
head.
justify it. I'm just saying
Legit,
what
you-
happened to me.
You're saying you knew when you saw the head that it wasn't Agatha, right?
Nope, I didn't
Oh,
know
no,
until
no.
they showed
She thought it
Agatha's
was
next
until she-
alive.
She
Came
looks
back.
I was
like a
like,
totally
oh,
different.
it's not her.
Okay,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying, Jerry. I'm not saying it makes sense. It's just like my brain would go blind sometimes when I was trying to see
it's-
everything.
Yeah, I understand.
Try to have as much patience with you as possible with like things that you obviously missed, and I try not to scream at you.
Yeah,
I
in,
tried my
those.
best.
in my case, that happened to me like at first because of this review stream. I was trying to catch all the scene and details and music, but I was exhausted after like 5 to 10 minutes, and I just forget about thing. Okay, let's just lean back and enjoy the movie, not trying to focus on the every tiny detail. And then
That's my style.
and then I could start to enjoy the movie just by itself.
Mm-hmm. No, I still enjoyed the
I still
movie.
remember a lot of detail, but
I still
Yeah,
really
you know,
enjoyed the movie, but I was zonked by the end of it, man.
it didn't tire me
I know.
that much.
Like,
at the end.
that makes actually a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think my I'm not gonna call it a condemnation, but it'll
Sure.
sound that way, similar to Jared. Is
Oh my
this isn't a
God.
movie? This isn't a movie that I necessarily enjoy, but it's a movie that I appreciate.
I'm a little on that
Interesting.
fence, but I still enjoyed it. It's similar to it's like my opinions on Alien, but like jacked up a bunch in terms of like I way more enjoy the craftsmanship of this movie than I do like the actual plot and
Yeah,
characters.
exactly. Because it's revealing it with every shot. Every shot is crafted.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
oh my god,
yeah.
I can't
every
fathom
single shot.
I can't
Yes.
fathom the amount of thought and time and energy went into every single goddamn shot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're on
like
most
not every
locations.
scene, every shot.
Every shot.
Everything you
every
see,
single
every
shot.
frame essentially is
every
very
camera
thought out.
move, every
Right.
Beautifully
single
crafted.
frame.
So yeah,
so
I
great.
guess like the only thing that I could say like sort of against this movie, even though like any sort of criticisms I have about this movie are pretty minor,
Yeah,
but I didn't really have much of like an emotional connection to like the plot or the characters like
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what was there in terms of just like everything I was seeing was entertaining, but there was some sort of just like
Right.
emotional component that like wasn't present for me. But that's
Yeah, I feel
really
you.
about it. Other than the fact that like it was a lot of work to watch, I enjoyed the work and I enjoyed what I watched. So
It felt like homework.
yeah, that,
Well,
that's kind of like my TLDR.
I feel like I'm gonna find some similarities between me and Jared because, and you also brought up that like your week and circumstance of watching the movie may or may.
I've
not
had a
be
pretty
impacting
exhausting week
your-
already, so I'm not sure if it's
So this-
because of this week
could
or if
be
it was the
interesting.
movie. Yeah.
Right, like because we both had a long week culminating in this movie,
Mhm.
and have both like come away with like I've almost agree with everything you said. so
It's definitely
this-
not a smooth watch. Like it's not something you just sit down and like. It's not like a Michael Bay
can't-
movie where you can just
No.
shut
You
your brain
can't
off.
take your
Yeah,
eyes
no,
off
no,
the
no,
screen for
no.
a second.
Well, and it's also
definitely
not-
something you have to pay attention to
Yes.
it. Otherwise,
Yes.
you're not watching the movie. Like
Yes.
it's one of those.
it's also not like
but I
a Ridley Scott movie with a lot of breathing room.
No, everything happened
No,
so
it's-
fast.
there- everything is-
was
there's a
absolutely no
lot of
breathing
stuff,
room.
but it's like all like compressed. But that's
Yeah,
how they
yeah.
fit so much stuff in the movie. Like the
It's
movie,
an
an
hour
hour,
and
an hour and 40
a
minutes,
single
an hour and
shot.
40
Yeah,
minutes.
no,
can't-
it felt
feels like
so
it
much
feels like
longer.
It feels like a 2.5 hour.
It does feel
when the
very
credits
long.
started rolling, like I was so just exhausted by the end of it. It felt like I watched a 2-hour plus movie.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, in the middle of the movie, I actually got a visitor knocking on my door. So I missed I missed like a 20 seconds.
Oh,
or
that's a
10
lot of
seconds,
time.
give it or take.
That's a
And I
lot.
when I came back, what's going on here? I had to
Yeah.
go back and rewatch the scene that
Yeah.
I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. To-
if the same
Yeah,
amount of content
to
in the
be in
short
the
time,
right
for sure.
track.
I mean, right away at the like this is still before we get into the synopsis from Jared, but just
Yeah.
want to point out that even at the very beginning of the movie, within a matter of minutes, we go like 3 layers deep into storytelling.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
we're in
It's
we're in
girl
one
reading
world, and
book
then
to
a
old
layer into
author, and then to Lemony Snicket, and then to the actual story.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like what? Wow.
Just have
how do you
Patrick
keep
Law
up with that?
narrate everything.
And the
That's all we
aspect
need.
ratio is changing every single transition.
Oh,
Yes,
dude,
I
yes.
loved it.
that was dope.
4369.
Yeah.
What am I watching?
So one thing that
I
I'll say
actually
about
like
the
that.
movie, like I think I'll agree with you guys that like it's not like my favorite movie in the world. I'm
Sure.
not like
No, no,
in
yeah,
love
yeah,
with
I
the story or
understand,
anything, but I think that what draws me into this, and I to some extent most Wes Anderson movies, is the vibe, the
It's
weirdness of it. Like
Yes.
it's like a fever dream at sometimes, and
Yeah.
I really like that sort of like feeling because it's just so off from the normal
Mhm.
stuff we're seeing.
it's
iconic.
absolutely
it's unforgettable.
It's absolutely
so-
like this is also going to sound bad. It's similar to M. Night Shyamalan in the fact that there is a distinct voice that
How dare
is
you.
That sounds bad.
so obvious that like this
Yeah.
person made this movie.
It's you can like there's no way you can mistake a Wes Anderson movie for a different director.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
it
it's
seems like
very
it.
distinguishable.
If a lot of his movies are like this, then I can see that. But yeah, so
I think some other movies are a little bit easier to watch, but
uh-huh.
also I think I'm cutting out a little bit, but that's okay.
Very
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I was seeing Jared cut a little actually.
It might
Oh.
be. My internet's like
He was,
I
he was
can-
living-
been
I
going
can
up
never-
and
I
down
can
for like
never
the past
tell.
30 minutes. It looks like
Well, if you
it's
guys
evening
heard
out,
me
but-
talking throughout the whole time and
I
not
heard you.
Jared, okay,
Hmm.
it is Jared's fault then. Suck it.
Suck it. Yeah,
Well, then
it
suck it,
it feels like what's the other director? His name is like Tim Burton, like a Tim Burton.
Burton?
If you watch the
Okay,
Tim
yeah.
Burton's movie,
you
oh,
know
this
a
is
Tim
totally
Burton
Tim
movie.
Burton's movie. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think
you just know
I think I think I just like directors that have a very distinct
Yeah.
style to them because it's just so different.
Mhm.
and I do like the consistency. That's hard to
like,
find.
'cause yeah, like a good director to me, like I know their movie without having to like know that it's
Mhm.
directed by them. I'm immediately like, oh, this is a Christopher Nolan movie. This is a
Mhm.
Tim Burton movie. This is
yeah,
whatever.
something like that. Yeah, something
I
like
have that sort of vibe with Edgar Wright. I seem to really enjoy his movies quite a bit.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm.
And he has a similar sort of like very distinct voice and directing style.
Yeah.
Um,
Like obviously there's like world class directors all over the place, but like I feel like a Steven
the sort of thing
Spielberg
that's
type, like he's more universal generic, honestly.
Yes.
And I don't want to like say that as a downside to Steven Spielberg. He's a
Mm.
great director, but
Mhm.
it's
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
You can't. He's like he's a master at the craft, but
Right.
he's also just kind of like he doesn't do anything like crazy special. He's just good
Yeah.
good at what he does.
yeah.
He's good,
He's
yeah.
mastered the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the impacts that someone like a Spielberg had, like, were a long time ago, and it shifted. People followed him, and that
Yeah.
like his style feels kind of generic because everyone uses.
Because
I think-
what he
everyone was basing their styles off of his.
I'm
Same
a-
with like
Oh.
any of these old directors like Scorsese as well. Like it feels like all these movies all feel the same, and it makes Scorsese feel generic because like he kind of
Yeah,
set
like
the
I'm
precedent.
a-
Scorsese will come out with a new movie and then be like, "This just feels like everything that's already."
Well, that's
done."
him.
Like,
No one says that about Wes
he-
Anderson.
I mean, that makes sense because a lot of director, I say most of the director was actually influenced by the Martin Scorsese and Steven
of
Spielberg.
course.
I'm
Why
gonna-
not? They are like they were the best director in the world.
I'm gonna go a little bit NBA mode here.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I
hit
thi-
it.
Like so, one of the things that will set you
Is
apart.
Into NBA mode.
Yeah, one of the things that will set you apart in a competitive market is whatever your sort of competitive advantage is,
talking
right?
about market.
The thing that you do differently from everyone else. And the strength of that competitive advantage comes with how easy it is to replicate. So if you have just some product that is easy for other, like you had this unique original idea and it's great, but if it's kind of pretty simple to replicate, other competitors are going to do the exact same thing and then just be right on your level. So then your uniqueness is gone. I think
Yeah.
Wes Anderson has a style that is just very, very, very difficult to replicate.
Oh, dude,
Like-
yes. I think that's,
that's
very
probably you
true,
don't
because
see
you
a lot of that.
see,
Usually
Well,
you'll
you
see a lot
actually
of
do see a lot
Spielberg
of
movies,
movies-
but
You see a lot
try
of
to
movies
replicate
try to replicate, at the very least. So very few. I've probably never seen a movie try to pull off both the quippiness and the visual of Wes Anderson simultaneously. But I
usually
always
like,
see
oh,
movies
we'll
try
use-
to do.
We'll
like
use
the dialogue.
miniatures, like sort of thing, like
Or
him, but then
that,
the
right.
dialogue won't be the same, or yeah,
Mhm.
vice versa.
It
Or
seems.
someone
I
like,
will
"Oh, I'm gonna
say-
have these like catered color.
I will say I'm very much a sucker for his like miniature.
Oh,
shots.
Uh-huh.
Things- I just
So-
like the little, like the goofy little like sped up animations, like
Oh,
that
man.
stuff.
I
Like,
actually
I
did
mean-
not like
I mean,
that.
even
That's
if
the
it's really-
one part of the movie where I
really
was like,
like it.
these visuals aren't jiving with me right now. That was the one
oh
time
man,
I was not
It's
a fan of
super
that.
artsy. It's extremely
very
artsy,
artsy.
because it's so like it's very much Wes Anderson loves like old film, and this
Sure.
is all about
it feels like,
old,
it feels like a silent movie, sort of like
Yeah.
a
Sure.
like a
I hope
Buster
you are not
Keaton
talking
sort of
about the
deal.
ski scene because
The ski
He
scene
is. He's
is
talking
probably what we're talking about.
He's,
You-
he's talking
you're talking
specifically
about
about
the
the
ski
ski
scene?
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying I like the ski scene.
Yeah.
I did
I
not.
love the ski scene.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
the only
when-
one then.
when-
I was not a fan.
I'm not. So I'm not.
When
I'm not in
Willem
love with it
Dafoe,
either, actually.
when Willem Dafoe gets on his skis, he just zooms out like the little gate.
Yes.
Oh man, it's so
Yeah,
good.
and then they actually lower the frame so it looked like an old movie.
It is like an old
It-
movie. Like you almost
yeah.
expect it.
If you swapped it to black and white, I wouldn't know it was a modern movie. Which
You actually hear like
be
the
the
sound
reason
of
why
the
Jared
wheel.
doesn't like it.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
It
Like,
ju- it
there's a
just
lot
didn't
that
jive
goes
with me.
into like tricking your brain into like all this stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's something about that. I know it's not for everyone, but I always enjoy it when
Yeah.
he does that sort of thing.
I'm not
I
gonna
actually loved it.
argue or like die on that hill and try to insist it was a bad sequence. It was just the one time I'm just like, not really feeling this right now. So
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
just me.
there's a lot of moments where like everything's fast, like happening and stuff.
Mhm.
Like when they're walking through the hotel, just like randomly, it's always like really quick. If they're running through the hotel, some of it's sped up even then.
Mhm.
And, like everything has to happen like really quick because they got to get to the next thing and everything.
Yeah.
Like the dialogue is
Well,
really
yeah,
snappy,
even
too.
the movement of the characters is like the equivalent of a one-liner in dialogue.
exactly.
God,
So-
because I was even paying attention to stuff like when they're just like walking through the hotel and there's like a side shot of them just all walking and they're both like evenly spaced and their strides are all in step. I'm just like, damn,
It's
that's
choreographed.
a lot of effort
a lot
and
of work
planning.
that goes into
Uh-huh.
it.
True. And on top
And
of
they
the
do- and
fact
they
that
do
the
this as
scenery just
well.
looks gorgeous the entire time, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's funny. Like it's so well done. It's exhausting.
Yes.
It is.
There's too much for me to pay attention to.
It's also like the actual hotel is a place where I don't know if I would actually want to stay there or if I would hate staying there, sort of
Uh-huh.
deal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like the like weirdness. It feels like a maze. Like when they're walking through it, like you would get lost in here.
Yeah.
And part of that is like, oh, that's really interesting. Like you never know what you're gonna find in there. But the other part of me is like, that sounds awful. and I
Yeah.
hate
It's like it's like The Shining. It kind of feels like
Right.
that.
it does. But like
Oh
a
yeah,
more
yeah.
upbeat
That's the idea.
Yeah, like more. Yeah, just like a more like a cheesy Shining.
Yeah, pretty like that's got to get that like feeling from time to time, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I kind of like that vibe whenever things feel off, but it's on purpose. Like
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah,
just-
like well when they're
like it's
intentionally getting that
dreamlike.
part of your brain.
yeah, and I'm like, ooh, this feels weird, but I like it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, 'cause I have the same feeling as a Steve, but instead of like a creepy feeling, I actually I'm not sure if this is a hotel that where I wanna go over and over, but I wanna try this hotel.
Mm.
Yeah.
I wanna try the feeling. Yeah, in the flesh.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
Because
feel
that's
like
interesting
a
hotel.
hotel that looks like that. If it's not like a, hey, come check out this thing that we designed to look this way. If it's just authentically looking like that,
Yeah.
that place is haunted.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, oh hell yeah.
Old,
yeah.
old hotels? Oh, old hotels, they're haunted. Sorry. If a place is
At
haunted,
least one
Version of
person
the
has been
hotel
murdered
is
in
definitely
there.
haunted already.
dude, yes. When it was even more secluded, like when they were talking
Yeah,
about
like
like everyone's
in the 80s.
super lonely and they all have like the same disease. Everything about that was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Crazy.
Oh, and the cable car. Damn, the cable
Yeah.
car scenes. Every time cable
Oh, yeah.
car scenes, it hits me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a so simple scene, but it's just I loved it. I loved it. I love the vibe.
There's no
I
escape.
mean, like it's again, you definitely see this guy as like a passion for film. Like when
Yes.
like when Zach was talking about how like as cinema and stuff, like whoa, save that sort of talk for Wes Anderson.
This is the first film we've watched.
I do want to point out before we
There's a
really
difference.
dig in. Look at all the movies we've watched leading up until now. This is the first like film.
This is the most like film, like it's an art piece sort
Yeah.
of.
This is
deal.
something in film school you would like dissect. You're
don't
not
really-
going to dissect.
Yeah, you don't really go
Terminator.
into like Wes Anderson movies aren't like the blockbuster of the summer. Like,
No,
go to the
no.
movie
If I
theater
could-
and watch it.
If I could think of a
No.
tagline that would be put on the movie poster, it would be, "This is a movie your mom would hate." My mom would hate this movie.
Well,
Yeah, your mom would hate this movie.
Well, our parents wouldn't like it either.
Oh my god.
For sure, our dad wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
I don't know about our.
I
mom.
don't think
I don't
mom
think she would like it either, though.
There's no
As,
way.
aside from all the old person titties and stuff, she still wouldn't like it.
Well, yeah, all that aside as well.
I feel like you don't necessarily
That's
need
part
to
of the movie.
have like a love of movies, because I don't and I still enjoy this, but I think you need to have some sort of love or appreciation for some form of art and understand the amount of work that goes into
totally do.
creating some sort of piece of art. And then when you have that sort of like switch on in your brain, watching a movie like this is just stimulation overload. It's constantly showing you
you're just
things that are interesting to
appreciating it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
People
So,
who
that's what-
typically claim to be like creatives or artists or like, oh, like I'm really into like design and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the name with movies that they drop. There's others that are even more like that are more obscure, but like this
Yeah.
is the
This is
the
Honestly,
most mainstream thing that they will.
Wes Anderson is mainstream. Like
Yeah,
that,
he
that
is.
goes without saying. But within the mainstream, he's still pretty niche.
Yeah. I've heard, I was reading on IMDb that this is his highest grossing movie.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't
Based
think it's my
on-
favorite Wes Anderson movie. I haven't seen. Apparently, there's a new one that like it was being suggested on HBO. It was like
Oh.
the
Really?
French Connection or something.
Oh, I do
I assumed-
remember seeing trailers.
I assumed it was a Wes Anderson movie because it had everyone who was in the Grand Budapest Hotel in that movie. So I was
There
like,
was
oh.
something. Yeah, I heard about this
Yeah,
one
it
as
was,
well.
it was something. It was something that was suggested at the end, like on HBO Max. I was like, oh, I might have to give that a watch. But I think
Yeah.
my favorite Wes Anderson movie, I don't know if we'll ever watch it
Moonrise?
here, is Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah.
I really like that
Moonrise
movie a
is
lot.
good. I think that one I like better because, to Jared's point, I think there's a little bit more of an emotional attachment to the characters there.
I think so. It's a little more of like an intimate story.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
you-
being
well-
said, like the characters in this movie were fun. They were entertaining.
Yes.
I just
very
didn't
much
have
so.
any sort of like, there was no, it's a
I
weird
didn't
feeling.
not like them.
there was
I
just,
liked watching them. I didn't like
yeah,
connect with them.
I just didn't feel anything, I guess, from a character perspective. I was just kind
In the
of
character
enjoying it.
perspective,
I don't know.
yeah, in the
It's-
character, yeah.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
You don't gotta apologize. Tell Jared to shut up and say your thing.
Just mute Jared real quick. And then you say,
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so
in the
as I was
character
saying, like
perspective-
it was kind of.
You go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was
make.
I was making a joke, Jerry. Talk.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. In the character perspective, I like that. Every character in this movie was how can I say this? Was required to
Yeah.
tell the story.
There's no fat in the movie.
Yeah, no characters was not. How can I say that?
No
Unnecessary.
characters were
Not.
superfluous.
no. Everyone was a character.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
in the purest sense of the word.
They had to be there, not like Encanto. They had to be there to tell the story and
Yeah.
make it smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth.
You said
I
in
love
you
that.
said
Yeah.
Encanto with such like
no.
you said Encanto with like such like disdain.
Disdain.
You almost like
Well,
spat the
Jerry
movie
gave
name out.
Jerry gave Encanto a 2, so you know.
No, I didn't.
I
Oh, Jerry
wa-
did.
it was
Jerry did. You're right.
disturbed
Jerry
did.
And
Jerry did.
I didn't. I don't want to.
He was just like, it's not like
talk about it.
Encanto.
Or Meet the Robinsons.
Well, the funny thing is, this movie does have. It's not like Encanto where it's or Robinsons where it's played over like a song to introduce them, but there is like a part of the movie that introduces like the residents of the hotel.
Yeah.
But it just does it by giving these little genre painting pieces of like them doing something.
Right. But then they also come back later. So like, I think the effective way to do something like that with like a large cast of characters is kind of what this movie did. Where like, yeah, you can have like quick cut, here's this character, here's this character, here's this character, just for the sole purpose of when they come on screen again and start doing significant things, you're just like, oh, I've seen that guy. I think I kind of know what he does. And then they start to just develop that from there. So like
instead of trying to tell their whole story in the song as you introduce them.
Right. So the thing that like Encanto and Meet the Robinsons did is that they just did that same, like, here's all these characters and things. Right. And then a large majority of them were just never important again or developed. And that was their only time in the spotlight.
That was it.
Yeah. So it was fine when it happened in this movie, because then when it came back, it didn't feel like this movie is like an hour, like 45 minutes in, hour in, introducing new characters and like having these big stories for them. Like you already had kind of seen like Jeff Goldblum lawyer like 20 minutes ago.
Yes.
So now he's here doing significant stuff.
He's always Jeff Goldblum, and I love it.
And I'm here for it. You know, I'm into it.
I had no idea that Willem Dafoe was going to be in this movie. Like I said, I didn't look up anything.
Oh, it was a big surprise. Yeah.
I definitely didn't know Agent Sadusky was in this movie.
I know, he's the bald prisoner guy.
Oh,
because he was Ludwig.
Is that Sandusky?
When you finally connect with it, you're like, what the fuck?
I didn't notice that the first time I watched this movie. It was
me neither. I only noticed it this time.
I have to say, is Adrian Brody a famous name? Has he been in a lot of? Okay,
that's a famous name.
I have no idea who this person is.
King Kong, Jared.
Whatever.
And one of the Predator movies.
I had no idea who he was, but my only thought was that they couldn't have picked a guy who looks more like somebody named Dimitri. Like this dude just exuded Dimitri energy. I don't know what that means, but I could just feel it.
Dude, he does. You're so right. There's something about his face.
He just looks like a Dimitri.
Yeah.
But also like the Adrian Brody like just matches his face too. He's just got the face, man. Like it has so much character to it that when you apply a name with a little exotic feeling, it just matches.
True.
So like when he played Jack in King Kong, that's an exotic name.
I never saw Jack's face. I've only ever played the game. I've only ever played the game.
Wouldn't it be funny if the whole movie was also in first person?
They make like a hardcore Henry version of King Kong.
Oh my god.
It's a found footage version of King Kong.
Actually, you know what? Since the whole point of them going there was to shoot the movie.
Yeah, it's all of the tapes that Jack Black was shooting. That would actually.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
You can see this.
Yeah, at least part of the movie.
Someone called us.
It's been pitched before.
It definitely has, yeah.
So, do you want to go back?
Let's do it. Let's do the synopsis. I believe we're ready now.
To the beginning.
Let's start it off strong with Jared's favorite thing: text
explanation.
It was pretty minor.
It's just location text. It's just like you're here.
Yep.
Sort of deal.
But
I didn't notice it. I'm like, ha.
Yeah, it was. Back to form.
Yes.
But to be fair,
if it was just one
this entire movie was exposition from an author.
Wow.
And then also exposition from Zero.
Through that.
Well, and all of this is what a girl is reading in a book that an author's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
A time when he was younger and wrote about a guy that told him something when he was younger.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
True.
How many layers deep can we go?
You could argue that there's even layers within there once they get into the storytelling, because they do jump around a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's again what makes it feel like, oh shit.
So yeah, she walks into the cemetery, which right away I was gonna get the sense, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this movie, aren't I? Just like the entrance to the cemetery, and just like
it's got the text on the walls.
Great.
It was just
it's got
great. Yeah. So she goes over there and she's like, there's like the tombstone with all these keys hung on it. She hangs hers. Like, I'm not 100% sure why this author was so revered, but I'll just roll with it. So yeah, she has the Grand Budapest Hotel book, and she's opening it up, and then this goes into old author who's talking about how he wrote this book, and what is contained within the book, because it was a story based on what he was told when he first stayed at the Grand Budapest Hotel, and then it flashes back again to when he was actually young and at the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, we switched from the original, like, older voice. I forget the name of that actor, but Falcone. But we switched from Falcone to Lemony Snicket, and it's like, well, like we're like that step back is crazy as all this is happening to keep up. You immediately feel like Jared said, you gotta get locked in right away.
Yeah. So it's got some like shots of the hotel, and it's sort of talking about the kind of people that stay there now, what it used to be, what it is now, and it slowly starts to focus on the owner, who stays there like once a week, or not once a week, 1 week out of the year, every year. And then he starts mingling with the dude in the bathhouse.
Hey, buddy.
He starts asking him, he's like, hey, how did you come to inherit this place? And he's like, sit down, young
dick.
lad. I have a story to tell. And boy, did he. So
this guy must just tell everyone the story, though, right? Like, because everyone's interested in him.
Well, they ordered the duck, so they have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, and there was just like another just instance of just like, if you pay attention throughout this entire movie, you'll essentially be rewarded for it, in the sense that, like, as he was starting to tell that story and they're starting to like eat their food and stuff, he says like something, this story is about the man who used to have the job of our old acquaintance. And as he says that, the other like concierge guy kind of like leans in and keeps his head in just for that like 1 second. And I'm just like, oh God, okay.
I know him.
It's just those little moments like that in the beginning where I'm just like, all right, do not blink. Don't stop paying attention.
There's gonna be detail.
That's the thing. You can't go into this movie expecting to see everything. It's just impossible.
This isn't like a reclined movie. This is a sit upright movie.
Sit upright and watch it, and even then you'll miss stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I've almost definitely missed huge chunks of this movie just because I was tunnel visioning on so many different things at once.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely unfortunate. What's up?
Oh yeah. I have the same idea as you, but instead of like I missed something, I was actually like thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna find something new when next time I watch this movie.
That's the thing.
And realize, oh shit, it is something like this. And I'm excited. I'm gonna definitely watch this movie over and over, like at least once a year.
Okay.
Honestly, it's actually like a unfortunate thing for me, because I do agree that this movie is rewarding to watch over and over and multiple times, but I don't think I'm going to do that for a while. Like I'm not gonna. It's going to be a while before I'm in a Grand Budapest Hotel kind of mood where I want to see and focus in on this movie again. Which, like, again, all of this sounds really bad, but I really liked this movie.
Hates it.
I think it's an important note that the mood does matter. Like, the reason for watching this movie is different than watching other movies.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't necessarily interpret that as you didn't like it. Because I agree that I would have to be in a mood to watch this movie.
And you're in a hurry too, so I don't think you actually like embrace the movie.
Yeah.
Because you I gotta finish the watch and I gotta set it up.
Yep.
I think it requires you to have
it's gonna tarnish my opinion a little bit. So I'm gonna try to let some of that go, but I would still say that like this movie still does stand out as needing more of your attention, even though I was already like exhausted.
Yeah.
So
what's
next?
Yeah.
Also I do like that guy. So the guy who plays Jean is another or Monsieur Jean is definitely another like Wes Anderson favorite to work with. And I love how little screen time he gets for being like one of Wes Anderson's favorite guys. You know.
Yeah.
But that's like the whole thing. Like they just like being in his movies. They don't need to have some like crazy role.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how small the part is. Like Bill Murray has like 3 lines in the movie.
It's not much at all.
So yeah.
But still, it impacts.
Exactly. Like
They just want to be there, and also those actors are memorable when you see them. They know exactly. There is a way to deliver Wes Anderson lines, and they all just have it. It's super weird, but they all do it the same way because they know exactly how he wants it said.
Same with Ed Norton. He's just very much
exactly.
a Wes Anderson sort of actor, especially in these movies.
I love when Edward Norton shows up and everyone's like German. He's like, "Hi, I'm Edward Norton."
All right. So, here's my very American accent.
So this is my Edward Norton accent. Do you guys like it?
I actually enjoyed it.
It's like, to Steven's point, it just makes everything feel so weird, but in a inquisitive way.
Right. Like I want to unravel the weirdness.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of a flashback of a flashback. So the only natural progression for us to go now is another flashback. So now we are back in like what, 1940s? No, 30s, because this was pre World War I, right? Yeah. So
World War,
40s was World War II. So they go through both World War I and II.
Do they? Oh, okay.
I think so, yeah.
I know it builds up to World War II. I didn't know if it was World War I as well.
Yeah, I think it's like the start of World War I.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
So they go to back to the 30s. We just smash cut to 4x3, and just the thing, the thing that I appreciated about, especially like the first few shots of this whole like setting that they're setting up, like Grand Budapest Hotel, like in its heyday, right?
Right.
You could so tell that everything was shot and framed very specifically and articulately to look nice in a 4x3 framing. Like as everyone was setting up all of the stuff when he first opens that door, like the first shot there, the closeness of the characters as they're talking to each other, it's just like, fuck, it all looks just so good. And my mind just couldn't stop thinking about how much planning and work this all probably took. And I really appreciated that. It was super cool.
And there is an interesting fact about that. Because it's so well constructed and well planned.
Yeah.
Everybody in the movie like a maker, they actually had to go to each theater and instruct them how to play the movie in the theater. God. Yeah. Jesus. They actually had to do that. Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, when you have a specific vision for your movie down to the type of film you're using, like that means that it has to find its way all the way to the theater that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Wes Anderson's vision was having us watch it on HBO Max on our computer screens?
100%. I wonder if Wes Anderson ever feels mainstream, and he's like, I miss being like a little movie, like an unknown filmmaker with just my style, because he's like a Spielberg now for people who don't know what good film is.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I was
who want to sound like they know what.
He's an easy name drop for people who want to sound like they know art.
Like, oh yeah, Wes Anderson. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, I like all of his movies. The one with the fox.
I mean, from the guy who had other culture, who's from Asian, and who's never heard of Wes Anderson and his movie, I was actually surprised and shocked. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, how he is not like a very famous around the world. Well, I didn't know he's famous.
Oh, is he not well known?
He's
in
gonna
Korea?
become a famous. This guy's good. Like I was like a whole movie.
I just found this guy, and I'm the first to find him.
You could
He's fucking sure in the mud.
You could be the reason he gets big in Korea. You could go tell everyone how good this movie was. Spread the word.
He's a movie genius.
For God's sake, he had to come all the way to Korea. I mean, not exactly him, but his crew, all the way to Korea to the theater that we had little to show the Grand Budapest Hotel, because this movie was not huge in Korea, so there were like very few cinema that actually plays this movie. They had to come all the way to Korea to instruct how to play this movie. How enthusiastic this is. This is crazy, yeah.
That's commitment, man. That's the art.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. The amount of work.
I think they did the same thing with Encanto.
Please do not speak.
They're like, I want to make sure that Luisa looks really good when she's doing her genie impression.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about Encanto, really.
Don't want to talk about
Not
Encanto.
in so
Yeah, we don't talk about it. Oh, Jesus.
Built for your movie screen.
I expect all of our little memory reminders be photoshopped like this from now on.
They need to be crafted.
Oh,
Yeah, we must handcraft them.
Unfortunately,
Lord.
it's just
Yeah.
Jared crudely photoshopping whatever thing is on our minds.
Yes.
that looks perfect.
Hey, I'd say this one turned out pretty good despite the
I'm
tools
really
I
happy.
used.
Really did.
I am really happy
This
with
is like
that.
the best one.
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
That and the sandwich right now are the best ones.
The sandwich.
Well, the
I
pie?
still
The
really
sandwich
like.
is very much just like no one will know what that is.
My personal
Yeah, I have no
favorite is
idea.
still
ShamWow,
ShamWow Limp Bizkit.
ShamWow.
That's
That one, not even part of the movie. It's just part of a discussion.
I
of
can guarantee you
like-
there will come a time where like I will temporarily forget what that movie was supposed to be.
I already actually did last week, and I was like, "What? Oh, I did." But,
Oh, right.
but for a second, I was like, "What was that?" So I believe it will happen.
Mhm.
ShamWow biscuit.
What a visionary director.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. We cut to all that. Everything looks great in 4x3. We get introduced to young Zero.
Yes.
They call him Zero because there's nothing going on in his stupid little head.
What a ripoff from Holes. I think
They definitely
Wes
stole that.
Anderson must be a big fan of Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. So we basically get introduced to Concierge Gustave and
And all
Zero.
his lucky lady friends, especially the naked ones.
Yes,
Jared, can you explain his relationship with the old ladies?
please.
No, you.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, damn it! Like Jerry and Jared sound too similar.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also may not be enunciating right
No,
now.
you're good. So yes, he's just into gilfs, I guess. Like
Okay.
at first,
Actually, now I do wish that Jerry would explain this so I can. That would have been a really good trap for Jerry.
Spoiled again,
Missed opportunity.
I
Jared
was-
was ready for it. Like that's
I
what
was ready to
Jared's
sit
mind
back
was.
and just- yeah.
Damn it! I wasn't. Okay, I'll catch up. We'll
He
get
was-
there.
He was just a very accommodating concierge.
first-
He knew what the women wanted, and
Yeah.
he provided
Exactly.
those
Yeah. He's
things.
charming.
At first, I thought I was like, for sure, this dude is just trying to collect like the infinity stones of sugar mamas and like collect their wills, collect their inheritance when they
Put them
died. Like
all
that
on
was
his
his
fist.
whole thing. But no, it turns
Yeah,
out
it does
he's
seem
like
that way at the beginning.
he's like legitimately like cares and loves for these old blonde women.
Oh yeah.
And that's just
And
Wait,
that's
is
just
that
his thing.
actually is that it
Okay.
though?
About his
I'd have to think about it.
characteristic, I actually have one opinion about this. Is like he actually sounds and act like he is like a gold digger.
Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
fact that if you think about like when he goes to the funeral of the Tilda Swinton,
Yep.
Tilda Swinton, actually the all other family member, they were actually ignore Tilda Swinton and they didn't actually visit her.
Uh-huh.
They never cared about her. But as soon as she died, they just come all the way to the castle to get at least some of the what's left of the Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
But this guy, what was his name?
Gustave.
Gustav.
The Mushu Gustave. Mushu
Inspector Jacques
Gustave.
Gustave.
Voldemort.
Yeah, he actually said like he is only after the money, but
Uh-huh.
he when he got there, he actually remember her. He actually care about her. Like,
he,
but
he
he
was
was-
dead.
They-
Yeah, he
they
kissed the
do-
miss, and
But he was also kind of like
he-
flopping her arm around and just like
Yeah, he chopped her arm.
To be fair, Zero specifically says he's like blah 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 for their pleasure and to some extent for his own. Like
Yes.
he was enjoying it, and like he says later on,
he
something
enjoys
about like
he enjoys the what is it? Not the the lesser
Yeah,
meats
there's-
or whatever.
Yeah,
cheaper- cheaper cuts.
Cheap cuts, the
Yeah, like, he
cheaper
likes the
cuts,
cheaper
yeah.
cuts.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the thing
to some
is, he's
extent,
not, yeah.
Yeah.
it's not a full like gold digger like situation. Like
He's
Yeah.
not
maybe a little bit.
singular. He's
No,
not
but that's
singular
like-
person. He's
Actually,
like a
into the-
complicated
When
characteristic.
they first introduced him, that's exactly where I thought he was going, and then as it developed, I'm like, okay.
Oh yes.
Well, let me take y'all through, like, and that's why I wanted to hear, like, what y'all thought. I wanted to ask Jared.
Yeah.
Because let me take you through my mind process. When I first saw Tilda, I thought it was, like, his mom. Like, I don't know why.
I
But
know.
I
seemed-
don't get that at all.
I don't know why, but it, for some reason, seemed like his mom. And, like, that's sort of, like, still stuck around
Oh.
for a decent while. And so when it started to talk about like how he always went after like the same type of woman
Yeah.
after like this lady left, when it gave her a lot more like showtime and he was like ushering her out the door, I was like, is he like trying to sleep with his mom? And that's like what these women are to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like once I figured out that it wasn't his mom, I thought it was just that he had some fetish for this type of woman.
Yeah.
And is that
Which I
that
think is
basically
that,
it? That,
I
like-
think that's correct. Yeah.
okay?
I mean, she's not his mom, obviously. Like that.
Right.
Right. Well, I know, but
yeah,
I
I think-
eventually got there.
Yes.
He
But,
just has a
yeah,
type, and
I-
his type is just
his
old,
type is
wrinkly
old,
blonde bitches.
Rich, blonde.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
like,
gotta
when
be
I- when I-
blonde.
When I first saw the scene, I thought she was just because I assumed like, oh, she's just like the crazy old lady who's like, oh, I'm in love with you, I want to be with you forever.
Yeah.
And he's just saying nice things to, like, because he's a really good concierge. He's just making
Uh-huh.
her feel better. But he's
Yeah.
like, oh no, he actually like, I don't know if he actually loves her, but he's
Right.
actually he's fucking her at least.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another part of like the delivery of Wes Anderson lines. Is I actually never know when things are genuine or not,
Mm,
Right.
yeah.
because everything is like a quip, and they all
It's
say
very-
and they
it's very
all
blurry.
and they all say their lines with the same kind of inflections and the same energy,
Yeah.
which just sort of adds to that mysterious veil to the like relationships between the people, which makes it interesting. But at the same time, I mean, I think maybe it's intentional to leave things sort of interpretive to the meaning, and it feels more like the way when you read a book and you decide how people sound, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Than it is about a movie where someone's like, it insists like this person's mad, and you can hear it in their voice. Whereas here, like everyone kind of has the same tone.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it
it's
actually,
sometimes a little confusing.
yeah, I like that. I like the fact that it actually give us some room to think about what it is by ourselves, not like a decided factor, like this one is this, then this one is that one is that. Not like that. In this movie, it give us a lot of room to think about what is him or what is her, something like that.
Yeah.
So we can think. Yeah.
I think the way that Steven put it is probably the best that I sort of agree with in terms of it just being kind of just dreamlike almost the entire time.
Yeah.
Like it feels unnatural, but in like an intentional way.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's.
It was intentional
I
way.
don't
If
remember how
you
I got here.
if you remember the ending, the guy actually, like he said something like he was living in the fantasy with some, and he keeps his grace or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it was
that- that-
intentional.
yeah,
That's for
so
sure.
that-
It was
that-
intentional. That's for sure.
Well, that
Oh,
that part, at least how I remember it, was like this idea that was he living in like was his world over, like
Yeah.
the world had sort of left him behind, and he was living in an era that wasn't his anymore.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, he knew that he was living in an illusion, which is so. But I am curious, what do you think is the significance of him becoming the blonde woman, rich woman at the end? Is that like anything, or is that just like a charactery thing?
Well,
Well,
he
actually, it
didn't-
shows that like the main character, the author, actually not author, but the guy, the general. Actually explained that he at the end he was exactly same as his like a woman type, like he was lonely, he was blonde, he was skinny, something like that. He was old,
no,
so
he
I
never
think
got
it was
old, is the
intentional as
thing.
well. No,
Yeah,
I mean like yeah, he actually matched the same characteristic as the other woman he actually loved and cared.
Uh-huh.
Right. To me that kind of read more as just like a character thing, like, oh, like, look, he turned into this. I don't know if there's any like real significance to it.
Okay, I was just curious if anyone got anything
Turned
from that,
into
'cause
his mom.
Nothing that I was really picking up. I think it was just
Okay.
like oh, isn't that funny how he was going after all these
Okay.
women and he just ended up being just like them, sort of deal.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
So yes, we have some shenanigans with Gustave and Zero, where he's basically just grooming him to be the best bellboy there is in the hotel.
Lobby boy.
Yeah.
Lobby
Not
boy.
bellboy.
Sorry.
Lobby boy.
Lobby boy.
Were you ever a lobby boy, sir?
Fuck do you think?
But everyone had to start somewhere.
Just get the fuck out of here. Get the goddamn flower candle or whatever.
Go with the damn candles.
I enjoy that, like the Wes Anderson style of like montaging things is always beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh, the
it
whole
is.
the
always
whole
good
scene
energy
of
and it's always interesting.
the chain of command with the crossed keys, like every single concierge doing
Yes.
something like super important at the time. They just have their lobby
Yeah.
boys take
It's like,
over.
all right, take over.
And they just say or do the exact same thing that the
Pretty much.
concierge
Yeah.
was doing.
They're well
Pick up
trained
where
lobby boys.
the concierge left off in the CPR process.
Yeah.
A lobby boy would never give up information like that. You're a stone wall.
Your stone wall.
So yeah, and then we essentially just get to the point where Tilda Swinton is dead, unless I've missed anything along the way.
like it's just introducing characters up until this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, this was another like point of confusion that I had that I didn't realize until like not that much later, but I didn't realize that it was around this time that they introduced Jeff Goldblum
Agatha?
lawyer. No,
Oh,
the
Jeff
Jeff Goldblum lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
And I had, for some reason, thought that they had introduced him when old Zero first started talking. So so when he was getting chased around by Willem Dafoe in the museum, I was like, oh, he's gonna be okay. Cause he's like in that part.
He was in the future.
So I'm just like, oh, he's gonna be fine.
Prison time.
Nope.
And then you saw him lose the fingers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, hang on.
Wait
Oh
Let me
yeah.
check the math.
Oh yeah. But throughout that whole sequence, I thought he was in the clear.
That's an interesting way to watch that then.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So he was introduced at some point throughout that montage stuff.
Yes.
Then they get to dead Tilda Swinton, and this is around the time where you kind of sort of start discovering that Gustave actually like seems to care about these women instead of just being like a gold digger, because he's going out of his way to take a train all the way out there. I don't know how far away they live.
A distance.
To
A
go
train away.
see this person. They have a little pit stop as like some sort of military checkpoint thing. I don't know. This is pretty much like this is
that's
the
supposed
first.
to be like a World War I thing, right?
Yeah, because as soon as
Okay.
those soldiers sort of show up, they show like a timestamp that I'm assuming is a significant date
time,
to know.
I assume.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
like some
we're
significant
not all
date.
history people.
Yeah,
We don't know.
but that's all meant to clue in. It's like, hey, this is taking place
Like a war
during
is
World War
happening.
One. And also like the newspaper headline also showed like, oh, is a war imminent? Soldiers at the border or some shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then they have this whole scene with like the soldiers checking their documents. And at this point in the movie, I'm not quite sure what kind of movie this is going to be yet. So I wasn't sure if there was going to be some sort of like Tarantino-esque like insta violence where they just pop, they
Yeah.
just immediately explode Gustave's head. So I was actually
a
kind
lot
of like,
blood.
Anything could
as,
happen.
as he's like talking to them and stuff like that. So I was kind of,
Oh.
I was
well, it
kind of
wasn't World War I then.
tense. I was kind of tense during that scene. I was like, what's gonna happen? Like this seems grim. But then it was
It
fine.
definitely presents, especially when it's bringing these guys who I'm assuming were Nazis,
Yeah.
like into the train car, and they're like looking for people to abduct, basically. So it's definitely setting up. If you're not familiar with Wes Anderson, even
Right.
with being familiar, like someone could be getting brutally killed here.
Right. So I wasn't sure exactly how Wes Anderson rolled or how this movie was going to be, because pretty much all of the violence was off screen, or you would just see the aftermath of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would never see someone actually like get killed usually, except for
No.
that
No,
one part
no.
of the prison escape that was actually more comedic than anything else.
Yeah, I think it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It's only there when it's quippy, when there's like a joke to it. There's like an inflection to it.
I
It's
love
like,
it.
he just jumps down the hole with the throat slitter and
Yeah.
kills 4 men and dies stabbing each other with the other guy.
I love
Just
how
like end of the battle, it didn't show like entire scene.
Yeah.
No, you just hear the murder.
I love how Gustave is introducing Zero to all of like his cellmates, and then he says, "So and so was slaughtered while slitting the throats of the guards," or something like that.
Yeah, like it's always
offhand.
so casual. It's so casual. Everything is sort of brushed off.
So yeah, we have that whole train sequence. They get into a scuffle, and then
Some bloody noses.
get some bloody noses, get a little roughed up, and then like the chief police officer, or whatever you want to say his
Our
position
hero,
is,
Edward Norton.
Ed Norton comes in, and he knows Gustave is like, "Oh, hey, you fucked my mom. You're a good man."
Yep.
So he
Look at my dad.
he basically writes some sort of slip for Zero to give him like clearance to like cross the
Little
border, because he's
pass, yeah.
technically not like I think he's like an undocumented immigrant or something. He's basically a refugee.
I think he is just a refugee. He's just an immigrant. He's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
from the
But-
area.
But Gustave cross-referenced the documents himself. His immigrant working visa. It's a 3rd level, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, at
Darling,
the end,
trust me,
the
darling.
world has no meaning, you know. It's the
Yeah.
war. Yeah, you as a soldier's perspective, you don't know this guy is like a spy or something.
But I love Ralph Fiennes' like delivery of all this stuff. Like the way he's like,
yeah.
"Hello, like chaps." And,
Oh, hello, darling.
He keeps calling
yeah.
everyone darlings.
So charming.
So from.
So
yeah.
charming.
I knew it.
Yeah, dude, his face when he gets it is so like it looks like David when David's like really happy. It really did. It looked like David being like laughing happily. I was like, that was adorable.
But yeah, so they survive their bout on the train, and then they finally get to what was even her name? I just keep calling her Tilda Swinton.
We just keep calling her Tilda. Does anyone?
Madam
What,
D,
something
I don't
like that or
know.
something?
All it says is Madam D on IMDb.
Like Lutz Manor or something like that. Where
Yeah,
she was
something like
living,
that.
Lutz,
Yeah.
something like that.
So they get to Slut's Manor, and
Yep.
they go up to the coffin, gives her a little kiss on her little crackly dead lips,
She
plays
looks
with her
just
hand a little bit.
Nail.
Yeah, well, she did
Oh,
fix her
she changed her
nails
nails.
because they were fucking ugly. Or-
Yes.
He said like, the way he says it earlier is so funny. I really like the way that he criticizes
Yeah.
her nails.
Yeah.
But she looks just like a dried out SpongeBob in the SpongeBob movie. Like they did so like she all like I think it's amazing that she did this movie
Really
with all
sucked
that
the
makeup
moisture.
and then like she makes herself super ugly in that coffin. I love it so much.
So yeah, he says
And
her.
the funny thing is,
Go ahead.
oh sorry. The funny thing is, you can realize how Mush Gustav, the main character, was actually kind of like adore her. Is like we know it's ugly. It's so fucking ugly with the makeup on, but Mush Gustav was actually like, oh, they kind of like use.
You look
some
better
kind
than
of
you did when you
makeup
were
to
alive.
Oh, you look
Yeah,
beautiful,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah. That's where I realized, oh,
I
this
think-
guy
I think
actually
it's-
cares about woman.
I think you
Too
said
much.
something like, "Oh, you look better than you did 5 days ago. You look alive."
Oh, yeah, something like that,
The
yeah.
way like
Yeah.
it's a cool delivery of saying like you look better now than when you were alive.
Right. Without coming out just saying it.
But and that's that style of like that type of dialogue.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then we're just moving on to Gustave going into the ballroom or whatever, where they're basically going
Yeah,
through
her will.
her will and testimony and stuff like that.
Yep.
We get a bit of a a lazy eye from one of the butlers there. What's his name? Chavez something.
Surge X.
Surge X. Yeah, there it is. So there's a little hint foreshadowing thing there, and then it comes to the will and testimony. Jeff Goldblum rocks into the scene, and he's talking about all of the stuff of how things are going to get divided. And there was one last addendum that was written just before she died that was going to give a painting "Boy with Apple" to Sir Gustave, which is just
priceless.
Such a huge deal.
Yeah. What?
This is also
Apple.
This is also where we get introduced to the Demetriest of Demetries and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. Dimitri.
The main villain.
Yes.
What a treat is it to just like, if you didn't know that like Willem Dafoe is in this,
He just shows up. Yeah.
What? And he's just showing up.
He was actually like a mind blown.
He's got that like buzz cut hair. And he's
Goblin.
Just like fucking.
He's got his, little brass knuckle things on.
The first time you see him, there's no lines. He's just saying, they're like, is that Willem Dafoe? Like, he almost looks like that could just be a guy that just looks like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
It's also like, I think one of my like favorite shots in the movie is like when after they punch each other and then Willem Dafoe punches Zero and they just turns to the camera and does like a little like fighting pose.
Yeah.
And then kind of like a little like circle like zoom in on. I love that. That's so good.
Yeah. So there's that whole thing. There's a bit of a scuffle in that ballroom. Gustave gets sent back to like the kitchen area. And then they're just like, hey, like he's describing how priceless Boy with Apple is.
Yeah.
So
Can I see it?
Can I see it? It's like, I don't see why not. And then go all the way up. Yeah.
And then don't forget, Soji was trying to make them stay there so he could talk about things that we know. Yeah. He was trying to tell them the most
second will. Yeah.
And they couldn't wait.
Yeah.
He was trying to end the movie early. And
Yeah.
Let that happen.
Yep. So they leave there to go check out Boy with Apple, and he's they're looking at it and he's describing it, and like a good lobby boy, Zero knows exactly what Gustave wants before he even knows he wants it, and he sets down his milk and he gives him the little stool thing and he just sets it there. Gustave is confused for a second and then he's like, yeah, let's do this.
I love that they both just like look at each other and then back to the painting like 10 times.
Yeah.
It's like, are we doing this?
Yeah. So they take the painting and then they replace it with, I saw it in the credits, a painting called Lesbians Masturbating.
So that's gonna be our keepsake from this movie.
Nope.
Why not? That's what I want.
Unless we can replace all the sensitive bits with Willem Dafoe's face.
How about this, Jared? Can you try to, with your mouse, recreate that painting in Microsoft Paint?
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, okay, I'm intriguing.
You can have it up. You can have it up as reference on the other screen.
I still feel like that would get me a slap on the wrist or something.
But just don't draw the vagina.
I don't believe that when you're done with it, it will look like anything.
Get as close as you can, and I think it would be funny enough. So I'm sure that, honestly, with this movie, there is a plethora of just things.
There's lots of visual things that are memorable.
So many.
Yeah.
Like we could grab literally anything.
So
I want to point out there was one like little like line that made me laugh at the funeral, or not the funeral, at the will reading at the end, where it's just sort of thrown in there, and again, it's just there as just a scene, just another shot, like to kind of build character into that room of like the old guy being like, so where's Celine?
Oh yeah,
she's dead.
She's dead. We're reading her will, and he's like, oh.
He had no idea why he was sitting there.
I just like, it's such a stupid little thing, but it kind of got me.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
So yeah, they are in the process of stealing Boy with Apple, and they ask the service people to help them wrap it up so they can take it out. And
I also like.
Yeah.
This movie is just obviously like, we could talk about the details of the movie for an infinite amount of time, but like, I just love every time they pull a painting off the wall, the hinge just swings there.
Every fucking time.
Especially like because later on when Dimitri grabs the lesbian painting off the
it
wall,
does
it's the same exact thing. And it's
Yeah.
like this. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just-
it's
it's just
nothing, but I
character.
remember that exact
It's such a
moment.
small detail, but
Like
you
a slow-mo.
remember it for some reason. Like
Yeah.
There's a
just,
lot.
you focus in on it.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of things that make it feel like old, like 2D animation, like,
Yes.
like
Oh, yeah,
old
yeah, yeah,
2D
yeah.
animation. Like everything has snap to it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's one of those things. Like you pull something off the wall, it reacts. Like the world reacts to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So super cool.
Yes.
I like that too. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that silhouette of a frame on the wall, I'm like, Madison, Jared, get the camera.
Get the camera out. There was no Polaroid. There was no blank Polaroids around it, so there was no signal for you to take a
that's not
picture.
Okay, right. Nothing
a puzzle.
interesting.
Yeah. So, yes, Serge and the other maid help him wrap it up, and that's where Serge kind of like sneaks in the letter.
Fragile maid.
Yeah.
Oh, fragile. I was saying fragile when
that
she said, like,
fragile.
I am not that fragile.
That's another very famous person.
He's super famous.
That's sort of where we get the here's where we're gonna put the plot sort of
Yep.
thing, and they
We
wrap
won't
it
know
up.
it for a while.
Yeah, and then they make their clean getaway on the train, and then they start discussing what they want to do with this painting. I love the quick snap between him just describing how important this painting is to him and how they should keep it forever in honor of her, and then literally the next scene it cuts to is like, actually, no, we should probably
You know
sell
what?
this.
I'm gonna sell it.
So we can
Let's
sell
get
some
this.
money.
Yeah, let's fence this within
Which
the
is
week.
why-
because-
When it does stuff like that, don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah.
But it's just like the way, obviously, like all of the characters, but Ralph Fiennes like delivers lines like that.
Uh-huh.
So and then it makes me think on how he talks about like I loved her with all my heart, and like
Actually-
does he
Yeah.
mean these things? You know,
Yeah.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, maybe he's saying it out loud like that to trick himself into believing it, but he knows it's not.
Yeah,
true,
like
so-
I don't know for sure, but I mean, it's one of those interesting parts. Like I said before, like it could be
Yeah, and-
interpretive on purpose. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's great. You don't know. That gives you room to think about it.
Well,
over and
I
over.
I could decide what I want. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
there's
like
a
reading a
utility to
book.
that. Yeah, that's what it really does feel like a book where like you read into the characters like as you say their lines for them,
Yeah.
the type of tonality that you believe they have.
It's pretty impressive to have a movie feel like you're reading a book.
It
That
is
doesn't happen
interesting.
very often.
Well, if you're David, when you read a book, you don't actually hear like yourself or anyone say it anyway, so none of this
You don't,
matters.
you don't imagine.
You don't
any
imagine
picture.
it.
Words
No,
are
it's just
happening on the page.
words are just like zeros and ones that sort of give meaning at the end. No visuals, no imagination.
Anyways, also on this train ride, we have an important scene where Gustave basically slapdashes a will together, promising Zero his estate should he ever die.
And he only does this right as a way to make the 1.5% seem palatable.
Yeah, basically sweeten the deal.
Because he assumes like, I'll give you like everything else I have.
Yeah,
'cause it's
all
worth
I
the
have
work."
is just like books of poetry and some like random shit. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Like it's not because he like really loves the lobby boy or anything. It's because he's like, no, like 1.5% is good. Don't like I'm not gonna give you more than that.
Like,
Yeah.
At this point of the movie, Zero's just there by circumstance.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah, they
okay.
haven't. They
He's
don't
not
actually
really a
like
friend
each
of
other yet.
Gustave yet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yes, that all happens. They sort that out on a random brochure on the train.
Yes.
Yep.
Super legit. And then
I also love that he's like, yeah, I'm gonna write down my will. And then he just hands Zero the paper and pen, like not saying a word. Like he expects him to do it. When Zero's like, oh, I thought. Oh, okay, all right. I guess I'll do it.
and then I think basically pretty much soon after this scene is when Gustave is getting arrested. Yeah.
Yeah. it's when
Yeah,
the police- the police show up.
after they hide the
Right back
painting.
to the
Yeah, they
Grand
hide the
Depressive,
painting
though.
up, and then yeah.
Because
Oh.
Shit.
the new like the final arc is coming out
Oh really?
in October.
That's
apparently,
true.
so-
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
Oh,
all right,
dude.
I won't be able to watch all of it, but I at least want to watch like the Rescue Rukia arc,
Mhm.
like the first big arc, before that comes out. Just getting
Man,
back to the Bleach mood.
I think I'll probably end up doing that as well because I really liked Bleach and I'd like to see that final arc.
So
And we're
It's
back.
Cool. That's good to look. I look forward to that now.
hell yeah.
I'm surprised Reed hasn't been blowing up everything.
Reed hasn't been talking about anything lately.
He's
So
been quiet.
Alrighty, where the fuck were we?
Chat. Let's let them tell us. Let's see if they were paying as good attention to us as we were to Wes Anderson.
I like to
We
think
were
that our
talking about-
reviews are kind of Wes Anderson-esque.
Yeah, Gustave is getting arrested.
Gustave's getting arrested.
Yes.
Oh, right.
yeah.
That's the part.
That was
Which we have. I'm gonna say this a lot, but I really like the part where he's like,
Where he
he
runs.
just runs off.
yes,
Yes.
where he's like, and you think I did it, and he just turns around and just
Yeah.
bolts it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm like, oh.
That's
Camera stays there
so good.
all the
The camera
way
stays
until
there.
he gets
And you
up to the
see-
stairs.
Yeah, you see just how like kind of slow the running is. Like,
yeah.
is it like they're just kind of running, and like you just hear like quiet footsteps getting quieter and quieter as they're getting distant into
Yeah.
the back. So good.
It takes what James Cameron would do as like, I just wanted to see all of it, and it kind of just turns it into an art form instead of being like a bad movie direction.
I feel like it's basically like physical comedy done properly. Like in terms of like you're
Yeah.
taking advantage of the medium of cinema and making just even like entering or exiting the frame interesting or funny. You know, just
Yeah.
that sort of presentation of it is a joke in itself when nobody's even saying anything in that moment.
Yeah,
Um,
it does it so well too. It's
It
like
does.
the crazy thing.
I definitely
Like, it never-
chuckled during that
to me
too.
at least. To me at least, like the style doesn't get exhausting. Like just the quick.
No, I think
funniness of
that's
it.
fine.
Because I think it's just so well done throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
That I'm always I'm into it. I like
Mhm.
the things that are happening. I find them funny, and if
Oh.
I'm not like laughing at it, it's like charming, sort of thing.
So charming. Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's try that again, Andrew. There we go.
Thank you.
It failed the first time. Yes, so Gustave gets arrested, and I forget what happens immediately after this. Does Zero visit him in prison immediately after this, or is there other things happen?
I think no. I think they go straight to
I think they go straight
Zero
to prison.
visiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's all
Yeah.
beaten up.
Didn't
talks about
William
how he's gotta
Dafoe
beat
visit
someone
the
from
Sergeant's daughter?
That's probably what happened in the in-between. At some point, Willem Dafoe visits
Yeah, Sergeant's
uh,
daughter. Sergeant, not daughter, the Sergeant's sister.
sister, yeah.
There's just-
Mhm.
so, some of that stuff is hard
So
to.
that I think that's later.
That's later. 'Cause
That's definitely later.
that's when
Okay,
he's
okay.
like. looking
Because the
for-
first time we see him being violent is actually like taking out Kovacs, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think so.
No,
No.
people.
What about
that
that time he
actually
chucked the cat out the
visited
window?
Sister.
Oh my. Well, okay.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh,
That
right.
might,
That's
that
right.
might, there's some like really famous like favorite parts, but I really
just
like
get-
when he threw the cat.
Can
out
we
the
just
window.
get the dead cat laying on the ground? Like that picture also would be a good one. Just a sprawled out, just like splatter with like just like a bright red
that
blood
image?
puddle.
Holy
And
shit!
then like
Throw
some
my
like
cat?
random person just like looking down at it and then looking up at Jeff Goldblum.
They
I
do
also
so much with it. They even have the coat check, like he's
yeah,
getting
just
his
like
dead
Persian
dead
cat
piece of
deceased.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I also
Like,
love as
what?
he's like getting into the bus and he sees Willem Dafoe like ominously on his motorcycle and he's just like,
yeah.
like, he's like, the fuck, man? Remember
Yeah,
this?
my cat did that. What the?
And I was questioning myself, like, why, if there is a killer on the track, why would you want to go to the, like, a secluded, the what is it? The museum?
museum?
Why would you want to go to the museum that is nobody is nearby?
Mhm.
I guess he
Go
was
to the place where
assuming.
it's crowded.
I guess he was assuming that it'd be like a public place. The guy's less like
Yeah,
less
yeah.
likely to do anything there.
It was
But,
almost gonna close though. But
But I think another, again, one of my favorite parts of the movie is the like 15 minutes left.
Yes!
In the thing.
And then when Willem
it cuts
Dafoe
to
comes in,
Willem
it's
and it says
14.
14 minutes. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I
Because
thought
that
that was-
means this guy is getting up every minute to change this thing.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Ay, ay,
Okay, and before we get too far away from the cat thing, I also appreciated when the sisters were like, "No, he didn't. he didn't do that. Like that's
that's crazy.
They had a couple
Like-
moments like that where like when Dimitri first notices lesbians masturbating.
Uh-huh.
They're just like,
They're
oh,
like, no,
I,
like, no, we would
there's-
have noticed.
no. Mm.
Yeah.
It was like their
Like,
character.
that was their only purpose was to like be like, no, that didn't happen. What? Yeah.
Yeah, so Gustave is in prison. He's talking with Zero, and he's already like hardened up in there. I don't know how long he's been in there already, but he's got like all of his like bruises and black eyes and stuff. And he's talking about how you need to establish dominance in your first few days,
Yeah,
and how
you gotta get in a fight.
and how he was tussling with this one dude because I can't look like a
Pinky.
weakling. Pinky, was it?
I believe his name is Pinky.
Yeah.
Up being his best friend. in
Yeah,
the
he's
end.
like, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think we're
he
gonna be
ended
good
up-
friends.
yeah,
Like
right,
immediately
yeah.
after his
Yeah.
whole story about him,
Mhm.
yeah.
which is all just great.
I love it.
Yes. And then what was he telling Zero to do in that scene again? I forget. Did he leave him with any like sort of Oh no, cuz Zero came with information that he had to swear on the Bible on. Was it, he was talking with
From Kovacs.
Kovacs, yeah.
Kovacs, yes.
He was talking with him and he was giving
Yeah. He actually mentioned that you might be able to get out of this, but Surge actually left without some kind of like
Right,
what is
right.
that? Yeah.
So, yeah, this is where we
Some
find out that
statement.
Surge is just like
Yeah,
Surge is
you-
a witness, but
he's on the
And-
lam
and-
or
Well,
he's,
this is where they think that Surge betrayed him, right? Because they like
Yes. Right.
Surge has said that he saw basically Gustave
Right.
kill her.
Uh-huh.
Surge
but
betrayed
then
me
now the
because
witness
he's
is
paying
gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the Gustav mentioned the alibi, like he was with the old girl, old woman, but
Oh,
old
yeah.
woman left the country.
Mhm.
Yeah, he can find her.
But yeah, and he didn't want to bring her name into it because she's married, and he doesn't. And she would deny it in that case as well.
Yeah. So the hunt for Surge begins. It's Surge, right? I'm not.
Surge, yeah.
It's Surge. It's
Surge.
Surge.
Surge
X for
Surge
some
X,
reason, but
yes.
Surge, yeah.
So the hunt for him begins. I think this is when we see Willem Dafoe go to his sister's place, and he's looking all ominous and spooky, and she's not doing a great job staying calm, but that's to be understandable.
Like he was just here.
So yeah, and then do we get to the cat scene? No, that's later, isn't it? I feel like.
Are we at the cat scene? Like,
I know we have a scene like fairly around this time where Zero takes back like the letter from Gustave back to the hotel and like reads it in front of the people while they're eating, and then he's like, "Oh, you should probably start the soup course now.
This is
It's
48
45
stanzas.
stanzas.
Yeah.
48 stanzas, the poem."
yeah, trying to still run the hotel from prison, basically.
I love that every time that a character tries to like recite poetry, they get interrupted like halfway through, like almost every single
That's
time.
true. No one's ever been able to finish reciting.
No one
a
wants to
poem.
hear poetry.
Oh, the next thing is just like Gustave, like his life in prison. Basically, he's doing his like rounds with the food,
Yep.
with the mush,
Mhm.
and then talking with Ludwig,
Yes.
like meeting Agent Sadusky.
Yeah, in the middle of that, he actually there is an important scene that he actually offers some kind of like a soup to the guy with the scar,
Right.
Yes.
Right. He,
Right.
as Zero
and
brings the memento,
he's got low
yeah,
later.
he gives him that. And, yeah, like after that, like that, he brings the Mendel's little cake thing that Zero brought him to Ludwig and the boys.
Yes. Which, goddamn, did those pastries look great?
Interest. Whoo, yeah, they did.
Son of a bitch.
I wanted to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a reason why the inspector at the prison couldn't quite cut into him.
They were just
I
too
didn't think
beautiful.
they looked kind of odd to me. They looked like just a bunch of stacked balls. They didn't look that good.
They look
Wow.
pretty good. They look pretty good.
Clearly not a pastry guy.
Pastry, I guess they just didn't look like a thing that I was familiar with, so it just looked like stacked bread balls.
I think they were cream puffs. Like,
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm not a cream puff man.
I have the movie up now. So yeah, it's showing Gustave and his prison life and them sneaking the tools in to start digging a hole in their cell. And
Yeah, we got
then
Agassi's
after
house.
this, we cut to God damn, this man looks like a Dimitri. We cut to back to the manor where Jeff Goldblum is talking with the people, and they have their little dispute of just like, are we agreed? No, not agreed.
No.
I thought you were our lawyer.
The law.
Hmm.
Wait, are
And
you
in
gonna
response-
just get past the part that the Zero actually giving Agatha the speech, the poem. Because that scene was, I felt like he became Gustave. Like he was learned from Gustave.
Oh,
And
that's
that
when
was
they
the
were
first
talking
time
about the soup and the stanzas.
He's reading Gustave's
no,
letter.
but it was like a Gustave's order. He was just reading the
Reading off
Gustave's
the letter, right?
letter. But this was the first time Jero actually intentionally talk about the poem to his lover Agatha. So that time I actually felt like you are becoming the Gustav because you adore him. I thought it was I thought it was like a crucial part.
Agatha was suddenly becoming too young for him.
Yeah,
I'll put it with her.
later he became poet too. She became poet too. Yeah, so later, okay, go on.
Sweet.
Moving forward.
We have Jeff Goldblum arguing with the rest of the family, and then in response to the disagreement, Willem Dafoe just fucking defenestrates Jeff Goldblum's
Bye-bye,
cat.
cat.
There it goes. I thought it was hilarious
love the way he
because
does it.
when
just
he
tossed
first
it.
introduced him into the scene, Willem Dafoe looks like your classic fucking evil muscle henchman guy just stroking his cat. And it's not till like the very end of the scene where Jeff Goldblum's like, "Did you just throw my cat out the window?" Like that was his cat.
He asked that question too because he can't believe it. It just happened. Like the girl's like, "No, he wouldn't do that. That doesn't sound like
I don't
something."
think-
No.
He couldn't
wouldn't
believe
do that.
reality. He was not aware.
That was I laughed pretty.
That was
I laughed a lot.
Let's see. We're going through some stuff here. Zero is hanging out at Agatha's place, and he shares with her the instructions to find a boy with apple.
The secret lies with Agatha.
The secret lies with Agatha.
I mean, she's the portrait.
She's the boy with the apple.
And then this,
You should have seen her.
and now we essentially cut to Jeff Goldblum getting his deceased cat at the coat check and going on his merry
Yes.
way.
And can I ask something like, was it just me that when Jero told about the paint to Agatha, was it just me? Like I was so worried that Agatha is actually the mean bitch. She just left with the paint without noticing like that, something like that. I was like so worried because this movie was so unpredictable. I was like, what if she just ran away with the paint, which is very expensive.
Yeah, priceless.
Priceless indeed.
So yeah, Jeff Goldblum gets his cat, goes on the bus, and then this is where we get the whole pursuit scene with Willem Dafoe very slowly stalking him through the museum.
Great scene. Just
Great scene.
all the him running through the museum is like those shots that they get are so good. I love it.
We
Those
could
also felt
literally
like,
stop like every 5
historical
seconds in this movie
shots.
and just say like this just looked great. Like it just looked good.
Right.
Like when he's running through all of like the suits of armor, like it's just like all in like a row. Like that's super cool.
And then it
all the
cuts to-
paintings and stuff, like
Yeah.
walls like filled with paintings. Very cool.
It cuts to Willem Dafoe going stealth mode and taking his shoes off
Taking his shoes off, going all socks.
Yeah.
Wow.
so he can sneak up.
Yeah. Then
And this was, and again, throughout this whole sequence, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna be fine. Like he's fine.
Jared.
He'll survive.
And then he just cartoonishly gets all of his fingers chopped off by a closing door.
Like clean cut.
Clean cut, yeah, very clean cut.
And just straight up murdered by the Dafoe. And then one of the things that slightly irked me is that after this scene, Willem Dafoe pockets the fingers and then just starts walking down this snowy avenue, boots in hand, just like squashing through with his socks.
I was gonna mention the same thing. Why you should not wearing
Damn
shoes?
shoes on, Will.
because he's a badass.
Joplin?
Why?
So that scene all goes by. We get to 3 days later. Oh, okay. So this is the day
Prison
of
escape.
their prison escape. Yes. So this was all. It just all looked nice.
Yeah, the escape was great. I loved how long that ladder was. That ladder
Dude,
was
that
insane.
started making me
It's such a
chuckle on like the
comically
back.
long ladder.
They did
That
not
was
miss
like
the
a-
opportunity to make a joke out of that ladder.
It's like a
Exactly.
Spaceballs moment where the
Yeah.
ship at the
You
very
don't-
beginning
it's
just
like, is
goes
it-
on.
how
for a
long
minute.
is
Did it
this?
go? Is it over?
And I think it does it the exact right amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
like,
another
where
one
you-
of
where-
those just like,
You start questioning like why is it so long, and then it's over. You're like, oh
yeah.
Wait, what
It's
what
just-
was that?
It's just another one of those
Exactly.
like dream-like things that sort of happens where like you're plugged in and you're trying to pay attention to everything that's going on in this movie, and then when you do, you see something like that, and it's like there's a wire that gets crossed in your brain. It's like, what? This
What?
is kind of long.
Huh? Yeah, I don't
It's a
know how I
very
feel
long
about
ladder.
that.
Mhm.
Seems kind of long, but you are not sure.
But it fits everything. It's just visuals matching the storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So they're making their escape as they're climbing down one of these ladders throughout the cells. They almost get snitched on, but big
Our best friend.
Guy with scar.
Big Baldy with Scar comes in and just chokes the dude out, and
Like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you alerting the guard? Like, shut.
Fuck
What?
up.
Why
Don't-
were you?
don't be a- don't
Why
be a
would you
rat.
do
Don't be a
this?
Snitch. Come on,
and then
asshole.
Gustave for straight up murdering this man. Gustave calls him such a kind gentleman.
Thank you. I just Ralph delivering these lines. It's so amazing.
And then
Everything's adorable
they have to
until
sneak
he's like
through.
Voldemort at some point.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can I get a screenshot of this? I don't think I can. No, it stops.
Is it the cat?
It's just I wonder if I can see it.
Just
I-
get choked out. Yeah, there's a reason that they say other things.
Damn it, you're not gonna be able to see it. You'll be able
Oh,
to.
you're trying to use HBO.
Yeah, I just paused on a great frame of the guy just about to get choked out, and his face just like it looks great.
Maybe
Oh,
take
maybe
a
I can
picture
take a
with your
picture.
phone and put it in Discord.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
old school.
This is
Oh,
how we
yeah.
have to do it because the internet too smart for us.
Fuck
I
you,
smarter
internet.
than the internet.
Hmm
I hate
You
you.
get around
man.
the internet.
They don't know about my caveman tech.
We have the technology.
There it is.
The old school never dies.
So they get through here, and then they have to sneak through the guard barracks, and they do so in like 3 or 4 different sneaking methods in succession. They're like climbing above, they're like
bars,
hopscotching between them.
and doing the little like synchronized leaps from bed to bed. Like
It felt like an old like Mary Poppins sing along.
yeah,
or something.
yeah, like it was like they were dancing. It was choreographed.
It was even shot like there was some like rhythm to it, and everything about it felt like a dance.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So they're going through that. They take their little rope ladder that they made, and they climb down the side of the building, which that whole shot of them just like on the side climbing down, once again, just looked fucking great.
Looked amazing. And they made
Natural.
the perfect length of that ladder to get down to the
Oh,
like, they needed.
exactly. It's just uncanny. How
Yeah,
it was not long, it was not short, it was just perfect.
Right.
And then there's just a little longer. Oh, there's one other scene that happened before this that I thought was just a hilarious piece of just character acting. When Ludwig first brings out the map, and Gustave is like, "Who drew this?" And he's like, "I drew it." He's like, "This is really good. Like these lines are impeccable." And you could see him. You could see him going
yeah.
like he's a little proud.
I try my best. It shows a lot of artistic promise.
I like it.
He's like really trying to subdue how happy Gustave's compliments are making him.
Yeah.
Who did this?
But yeah, so they get down the side of the building, and there's like a little bit left that they have to go through. They open a little hole in the floor, and immediately 4 guards are
Steam
looking
vent.
up at them.
Go.
Yeah, but they have their throat slitter ready. So that boy just jumps down in there, and it's just some cartoonish violence sound effects happening.
Oh yeah.
And then it just goes to the last guard and him like back to back, and he's slowly putting the knife in them, and they both die.
Oh, they're stabbing each other. Just.
And then it just goes to the next scene, which is just fucking hilarious. We go to Zero, who is waiting for them outside there, and they all just sort of come up, Gustave introduces all of his cellmates, says this other guy got slaughtered near the end there, whatever.
Casually. Sorry about that.
One of
Sorry, Gunther.
I saw a random piece of trivia here. When Ludwig says "Good luck, kid" before slapping Zero, he's just like, "Hey, good luck, kid," and then he just runs away.
Right.
They shot that 42 times until Wes Anderson was satisfied. Keatle actually slapped Revelori each time. So he slapped him.
He had to get 4 actual slaps.
42.
Damn.
Oh, 42?
42.
42 slaps?
Holy moly.
I mean, at a certain point, I guess you stop recoiling. You're just taking it.
Yeah.
Because I think after the first one, you pull back like a little bit. Like, it's hard to just sit and just take a slap, you know?
Yeah. We have a little moment with Gustave and Zero, because Zero apparently forgot all of the important stuff that Gustave was expecting. And in the process of all of this, the prisoners are just jacking a bus.
Just taking this bus and murdering the driver on it. Just in silence while they're having their
While
conversation.
Gustave is complaining that he doesn't have perfume.
Yep.
Yeah. I just got out of a sewer.
And this is essentially like... And this is the thing, I guess, with like the characters, is like this is like the one like major character moment that I feel like Gustave and Zero share in this movie, where like Gustave learns about the history of Zero and where he came from and why he's here, and then he's immediately like super apologetic about it. I mean, I guess like there was some like warming up between the two people, but he's sincerely like upset at himself that he said all these horrible things to Zero after getting so angry at him, and they like, you know, hug and make up and like, we're brothers, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it wasn't effective, it was good. But this is like the only moment that I can think of where like I saw some sort of major change or development in the characters, other than them just being themselves, who they were already. Which is interesting because, again, I don't really have a problem with it. So I don't know. It's just the way that I was thinking about the characters in this movie. I'm like, there weren't really, I feel like, many arcs or character development changes throughout this. It was just all these characters being themselves throughout the whole movie, which is still entertaining.
Kind of set in their ways.
Yeah, but it was still entertaining.
I think aside from them like having a little like heart to heart, I think the main like takeaway from that scene is still like the comedy of like, hey, you're trying to escape prison, just sitting here talking about all this stuff, which at the end is like, the
alarms are sounding.
But the alarm is sounding, so we should run.
And if you think about it, the Mushi Gustav was not aggravated when he like asking for some kind of like a real tools that he needed for escape. He was not aggravated at all, but at the end, like when Jero missed the perfume, he was so angry. Like, how could you not? Yeah, because before the perfume, it was crucial. Those were crucial tools
gotta have those
that
fake
needed
noses,
to survive. Yeah. And the claws and the fake mustache. But when he was told that he missed the perfume, he was aggravated and he was so angry that he says something that he should not.
I forgot my my cabbage bot broke when I lost internet, so I've been missing a bunch of chat stuff.
Okay.
Let me catch up on that.
They're not saying anything important.
Hey, everything's important. Where's my other? There it is. What was going on here? Taking off his shoes was a fun detail because they were main noise. Yeah, they were the main noise throughout that whole sequence, which was great. That was always prominent throughout that whole museum thing. I enjoy how annoyed Jared sounds and saying that the scenes looked amazing. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing is like, what I'm saying is like every fucking 5 seconds.
It was all so good.
Every fucking 5 seconds we could stop and describe how amazing like the scenes and the frames looked. And I struggle. I don't have the vocabulary or the experience to explain why these things look so nice, other than just saying this looked great like 50,000 times. So that's why I get like annoyed at how good everything looks. So yeah.
Well, and also, at least from my perspective, when things are like that, when it's just so well made, I get really caught up in the production of it and less of the function of it to the like storytelling.
Yes.
And like it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that like the craftsmanship of it starts to become the thing that I'm watching.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Where are we now? They're escaping. The prison, the guards in the prison discover the escape hatch, and this is where we see that Willem Dafoe is also here.
Just kind of in there.
Yeah, he's just kind of in there.
There's no villains allowed in this block.
Yeah, clearly he was here to murder Gustave, but he's too late. And then I'm not sure if this is actually explained, but some of those, like the head guard there is like immediately suspicious of Willem Dafoe in Kovix's murder, and he asks him about that. I love how they have his like autopsy report with 6 fingers printed on the thing.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun. Yeah. But yeah, he just goes off, and then this is where we get to fuck, why am I blanking on his name? The guy we've been talking, Gustave. Jesus Christ.
So like,
Yeah, I just had a bit of a brain fart there. This is where we see Gustave in the phone booth, basically pulling all of the strings that he has had in his pockets since
And
he
Bill
first
Murray
started
appeared.
working. Yes,
the Society of the Cross.
Society of the Crossed Keys. And he was explaining is like, how do you think that we get these front row tickets on a Thursday nights, or like these reservations and blah blah blah? It's because all these concierges are like working together, which is just hilarious.
Secret society.
You must never speak a word of this to anyone.
So let's see. Let's go through some of the cameos that we have here. We had, of the ones that I recognized, we had Bill Murray, Owen Wilson. Actually, those are my only 2, unless I'm missing some. I mean, surely I'm missing some. But who else did you guys recognize in that like chain of command sort of thing?
So one of them is the guy whose face gets melted off in Indiana Jones.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
known that.
I don't know the name of the actor.
I don't know,
but
but I recognize him. Like, oh yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know who the Indian guy was beforehand.
I recognized that
I
guy
think
though.
he's
Like
fa-
he's
I think
definitely a famous actor. I just don't know his name.
For each of these people too, they do the same thing they did with Willem Dafoe, where it's like spotlight when they're
And,
on
yeah,
the phone.
Like not just framing, like literally framing.
Yeah. So there's that whole thing. They basically all like use their connections in the secret society to get a ride for them to where? Oh yeah, they're setting them up a meeting with Surge X, who is
Yeah,
up
they
on.
found Surge.
Yes.
Up in the observatory on whatever mountain.
Yep. And then you have that whole sequence of like, are you Monsieur Gustave from the Budapest Hotel in blah blah blah? It's like,
Damn it.
Yeah, like, stop.
But what I loved about that sequence, especially when we're actually skipping ahead a little bit, but especially when they're on like the cable cars and it like stops on one spot and then another one stops on the other.
Yes,
the
I love
swinging
that.
of those
Push
cable
comes with
cars fit with the music. Like it was in time with the
Yeah.
music. It was
Things-
like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the soundtrack was always synced up with things rhythmically in the movie,
Yes.
which was pretty genius. So that's a good like collaboration between what was it, Alexander Desplat and Wes Anderson.
This is actually like before all of that stuff happens, though. We cut to Dimitri discovering lesbians masturbating and
And I
throwing it
didn't
on.
realize that they still didn't know the picture was gone.
Yeah,
in my
that's where
mind,
I realized they didn't know.
because in my mind, all this conflict was based around the painting. I don't know why, and maybe Steven, you can help me with this. So after they steal the painting and run off, like they know the cops are coming after them, and I thought they knew the cops are coming after them because of the painting. But when they get there, it's because they think that like they murdered what's her name, Tilda.
Yeah.
But nobody knew the painting was missing until Dimitri notices it, right?
Because the reason why they were
Or is it
chasing-
just that Dimitri only noticed it then?
I mean, Dimitri, assuming the sisters actually did notice it before, but they don't matter, obviously. He was the only one who noticed.
Mhm.
So obviously, like, Gustave and Zero thought that the cops would be coming after them for the painting because they assumed that they would find out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't. So none of like sending the cops after Gustave and like, they didn't know about the painting beforehand. It was just because he happened to be in the will. It wasn't because he stole the painting or anything. They weren't trying to like trap him.
Yeah. So the cops were only coming to arrest him because of the conspiracy with Serge and stuff. That had all happened at that point, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why Dimitri and William Dapo was chasing him because he wanted to get lead over him so he can make sure that cop think he's a murderer.
Okay, yeah. It surprised me when they just noticed at the end that the painting was missing. Like, I thought that was what was driving a lot of the conflict.
Yeah.
The conflict actually had anything to do with the painting, honestly.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It actually didn't, and I didn't realize that actually until that point in the movie.
Yeah.
So after that, we actually don't get to the whole chain of command thing yet.
Oh my god.
Because Agatha is slowly packing up, and this is pretty much where we think that she gets murdered by the Defoes. We have the whole police scene. It's like, oh, young woman's head found in a laundry basket. Turns out,
Local woman.
yeah, local woman. Sorry. Turns out that is just Serge's sister. Willem
So who
Dafoe
cares?
is on the hunt. And
Yeah, it was a little bit of a pleasant twist.
yeah, one of
Because
one
we
of
all thought it was gonna
not for
be an
Jared.
Agatha.
Not for Jared, apparently.
I wouldn't
He's like,
I
"Oh,
wouldn't know
man,
this
she's
for another
dead."
20 minutes.
My god.
And what another part that I liked immediately after the scene, it shows Willem Dafoe holding like the bloody telegram. So now he knows now he knows where Serge is. So he's gonna go up there, and then it shows his motorcycle has been decked out with a pair of skis. So
that.
he's ready for
I
snow
love that
travel
too.
now.
Hell yeah, it is. 'Cause
That's
the
like
keys
an
have
old
extra
days.
traction to the wheels.
Yeah. So that's just funny. Where are we now? Now we're getting to the point where so Gustave and Zero were on a train to Gustave, god damn it. We're on a train, and then
Jacques Cousteau.
Inspector Jacques Gustave. They actually get off the train halfway through to start going to where their destination is for Serge, but the police are hot on their trail, and he smells the perfume and stuff like that. But now
Yes.
they're getting to being guided throughout this whole mountain place by like this literal cult-looking motherfuckers of of concierge
The
people.
monks.
Yeah. They go up and down in the little cable cars. More white-robed cult guys. And then we finally get to the confessional booth where Serge X is, and then we finally understand what that slip of paper that he put into the painting was supposed to be. It
Find
is.
out about the second will.
Well,
You
now
forgot about the
okay,
second
but
will, you bitch!
Now I'd already like obviously already seen it, so like I knew what like the letter and stuff was, but like you kind of know, right? Like at the beginning, like it's not like it's really that much of a mystery.
Oh, yeah.
but
Something important to the will
it
situation.
obviously has something to do with the will, and it's directly for him. And the whole reason we're hearing this story, anyways, is how Zero ended up owning this hotel.
Yes.
And this is about a will. So like it can't really be anything else. So I don't
Not
know
a
if the
big
movie
surprise.
like was saying that it was that big of a mystery, but it was more
No.
like a mystery just for the people involved and not
Yes.
for us.
I don't think this was meant to
You-
be like
you
a
gotta-
big twist.
You gotta
Yeah.
believe that a lot of people watch this movie forgot about that for the entire time, though.
Well,
Sure.
that is true.
So it's like they set it up as a twist, knowing that most people will understand that it's really not. It's like
Okay.
just a known thing. But
Yeah, yeah.
they set it up anyways, just in case people are stupid.
That way, it's still like, ooh, they feel like,
Because, like,
ooh, I figured it. Like, oh,
'Cause obviously, it was still a twist during that time for Zero and Gustav. So
for them it
they still
is,
have to-
yeah.
they still have to have that sequence happen.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so they have that whole sequence in the confessional. But oh no, Willem Dafoe is there. He finally kills Serge.
Your
Thankfully,
Serge die in the confessional.
yeah,
You don't see it.
yeah, he gets strangled out, and just the fucking shot, the smash zoom in of Willem Dafoe in the white robes doing like the little like incense thing.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was so good. Like, where did he
It was
get this?
great, yeah.
It's too good.
But like if they hadn't come out, he would. I did also like the music that was happening in there because that was also synced up with soundtrack that was going behind.
Oh yeah. We're back.
Yes, just in time for my least favorite scene in the movie.
Least favorite. What
I
do we
don't
have?
know what
The
you're
whole,
talking
the whole
about.
downhill skiing
This is
scene.
Oh, the
This is
downhill. Yes.
I can't believe you don't like this scene.
I
Yeah,
just,
exactly. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I literally want you to you are not talking about like a scene that you said you disliked some of the
Such
scene.
a great sequence of events that happens
It,
here.
Yeah,
it,
it was
probably
hilarious and
is.
enjoyable.
I
He-
didn't care for it, man.
all of like the just miniature effects of it, just like everything's felt small but fast. Like it was-
And lower frame, fast, the music, and it fits the generation that historically. How can I say this? It fits the
like the film style of that era.
It's
I
old.
guess-
It's like old silent film or like how they used to they used to actually like use paper graphics and stuff to represent things
Yeah.
they couldn't film like way back when.
Yeah, and if you think about it, this happens 1932. It fits the time.
Yeah.
It is true. Like, and I think that
Sure.
there's something to be said about that.
Sure. I think
it's
my why it didn't really feel like it works for me was that like throughout the majority of this movie, pretty much like the movie was always working off of like cartoon logic essentially, right? Like things were sometimes
It was
goofy.
like a live action animated movie.
Yes,
Mhm.
but I feel like this was the first time where it really leaned into like the cartoon physics aspect of it, and that I guess that was just a little jarring to me. So I
And
really
I know,
care
I
for
know
it.
what you mean, like how everything is like super fast and like exaggerated and
Ridiculously
really
fast.
bouncy. And
Yeah, and then it would cut.
and
It would cut to like essentially the same shot of Zero and Gustave like on the sled, like doing their thing with like the fake background behind them.
I
like,
love that. I love the head-on shots because like they do it with the motorcycle and Willem Dafoe or earlier
That's
on,
just
too.
like that's
It's
the
a
shot.
very-
You know?
Sure,
That's
but
how
like
it
they
is.
they
That
cut
is
to
a
like
shot.
they cut to like weird looking miniature scene that I didn't care for to the exact same head-on shot like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, yeah, like I'm kind of done with this scene already.
The
What's
whole
next?
scene's
Like,
supposed to be like over the top. It's just
yeah,
wild.
it just
sort
didn't
of thing.
jive with me personally.
And
No,
even the funny thing was in the end, the Zero was like buried in the snow like a real cartoon, like half of his body was
I
buried
also
in.
really like that.
I was like a fucking laugh out
Yeah,
loud.
just his legs poking up out of the snow, and just like so comical.
It's an extremely divisive way to tell a story.
Mhm.
Like, it's definitely not a widely accepted way to tell this because I'm halfway in between and I actually don't know how I feel.
I can
Like, I
see
think
how
that- I
somebody
think
would
that
enjoy that
For me,
scene.
it fits. For me,
It does fit, so I don't think-
it fits the world. Like it doesn't feel out of
Right.
place.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
Regardless-
it definitely doesn't feel out of place.
Regardless of if you like think it like is nice or like looks cool.
Well, it's like
I
you
think-
said, Steven. Either you like Wes Anderson or you don't. That's
Right,
really
this
kind
is-
of what this is a good example of that.
This is
Hmm.
like Wes Anderson turned up to 11. Essentially, is what this scene is.
This
I
is
think
Wes
11's a bit
Anderson
too much
just
for me
don't
then.
like it.
This is maximum Wes Anderson moment.
Hey, if you can believe what Steven says, believe me, I've never known Wes Anderson. I've never known his work,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I'm from different culture, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I believe that. I think that it deserves to be loved, but
Mhm.
not everyone connects with that type
Yeah,
of
that
thing.
I agree.
It
That I
just
agree.
it just and like I said, this isn't like some ratings dropping like movie ruining moment for me. It was just the one
No.
moment where it kind of crossed the line. I'm just like, oh, I'm not as enjoying this as much as like literally every other scene in this movie. Like it was a minor little dip for me where I'm just like, I don't care for this part.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it's the length that it happens because they
not
definitely
I think it
do,
is.
Not short.
They definitely do very similar stuff throughout the whole movie. Like there's portions of it where
Oh,
like
absolutely.
when they're in the observatory, it's like the little miniature versions of them just like side scroll, like just like
Yeah.
walking around like fake people getting on elevators and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
there's like a bunch of scenes where they're like people are running and it's sped up and
Not nearly as
like,
sped up
they-
as this like Tom and Jerry shit though. They're literally like
I don't
zipping
know,
like
there's-
black
there's-
dots, just zip, zip.
there's well, all right, but they are going.
This is the fastest that.
They
this is the
are. They
fastest
should.
that they've
They
gone.
should be going that speed. But like relatively, when they're running, it's basically sped. Like the footage is sped up
Sure.
the same amount in
Sure.
the other parts.
I
It's
guess that
more
just
jarring
didn't
here
cross some sort of
because
line for me.
it's more jarring here. Well, because the other parts were just like them turning a corner really fast or something like that.
Right,
It wasn't like
yeah.
a full downwards like slope. I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
One thing I agree is it was a little longer than it should be than other scenes like the what is it, leather scenes. Like we thought it was perfect timing. Like it was
Oh,
not
yeah,
longer.
well,
my-
but the thread scene was kind of a little longer than it should be.
My problem.
Because this stuff
is
is
the one
like a,
thing I agree.
these are like kind of like Charlie Chaplin type scenes.
Uh-huh.
So when you draw that out, like the slapstick gets a little too cheesy.
Well, I
and,
definitely-
like, that's probably what you were feeling.
Yeah, I definitely think that the length was a problem because they literally would just show like the same 2 shots for like 2 minutes. It would just like whoop, whoop, and then head-on shot of like, and then just whoop, whoop, head-on shot again,
Like,
looks
that's-
exactly the same. Whoop, whoop, and they did that like
It's
3 or
definitely,
4 times.
It's a
Yeah.
very intentional thing that they're doing there. Like
Yeah.
if you ever go back and watch old movies of that style, that is
They are
exactly
it.
what they do
Sure.
to a T.
I know.
Like
and
it's insane. Like because that's what they had to do back then.
Yeah.
It's like they can only get so many shots of things.
I
So they
guess
had
I
to reuse them a bunch to kind of fill
I
the
guess
air.
the-
so
the
when
sticking point-
when he's trying to capture that to its entirety, that's kind of what you get with that.
Yeah, I guess the
It
sticking
is-
point for me
it
is
was
that
required.
that effort and that aesthetic means nothing to me. So I guess I just don't appreciate it as much. Like,
it's such a movie nerd thing to do.
Uh-huh.
Like it's something that you do. It's almost like self-indulgent for the director to do it,
Mhm.
and that's why not everyone connects with it because it's a movie nerd thing. Not
I just felt like
necessarily.
it definitely felt like he personally really liked this thing, but it
Yeah.
That's totally
because when you
Yeah.
explain it like that, like it makes sense to me in terms of like, yeah, that probably was a very intentional. Of course, it was a very intentional thing. Nobody would look at a scene like that
But-
and not think about how goofy it is, and you're explaining
yeah,
to me
even
what it's
even the
supposed to
length
look
of
like.
it and
Yeah.
repeating footage is very intentional. It's very like on course for
Yeah.
what he's trying to represent.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the few moments of like the appreciating the craftsmanship part where I just like didn't care for as much because I'm just like, sure, but I guess I just feel like that didn't look good back then either. So I just don't like have a sort of like appreciation for it. I guess it might just be like
Yeah,
Andrew
it's
said,
kinda
just like a
similar-
movie nerd sort of thing.
Well, it's similar to like you could like think of like Tarantino. Like there's a lot of like Tarantino just loved like these old like Clint Eastwood movies. Like
Sure.
I forget what they are, like what they're called, but like he was
Spaghetti
into like those
westerns?
old westerns, right? Yeah, like spaghetti westerns.
Mhm.
Like he was really into those movies, and like there's stuff that was poorly done or done just because of the time or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
like he put that stuff in his movies, and it like maybe feels weird or wrong, but you're like, no, now that's just a signature of Tarantino, but really he's only doing it because that's the thing that he loved. And it doesn't mean that it was even right back then or it's right now.
Yeah.
The only actual thing that you can say is that this is something that he likes.
Hmm.
I wouldn't even say that like I appreciate this scene because of like, oh yeah, like I like old movies and this looks just like that. I think
Uh-huh.
it's just because I've talked about like the vibe and feelings
Sure.
that this movie gives.
But that's
Yeah.
And this
consistent
is-
with your
It's
critique.
consistent with it's like this is the most just outlandish dreamlike sequence. Like this
It's
is
kind
Yeah.
of
full
it was
on-
even scary to
full
me a
on like
little bit.
nightmare. Like things are just like mega surreal. Like you
Mhm.
like what am I looking at sort of thing. And I think that just it was just an amped up version of the rest of the movie. So I think I grabbed onto that. I
think
get.
that's consistent with what you said earlier.
I guess it was just a bit too much for me. So maybe I don't appreciate when a movie goes full Wes Anderson.
I actually think that's consistent with what you've been saying about the rest of the movie. I think, Jared.
So, and like I said, this was just a minor little thing where it's like my brain kind of noticed it, but this is by no means any sort of like movie ruining experience or scene for me, really.
Yeah, and
but if I had to point, it's like
I don't think
my
there's any
least favorite part.
I don't think there'd be any like good way to like objectively analyze this thing. Anyways, it's just either you like it or you didn't. Like this type of.
It's a very subjective sort of.
Yeah. So.
And you're incorrect for not liking it.
not a real movie connoisseur. Which when did I ever claim?
Hey, the most
You're not into
is the most creative.
I bet you don't even like Citizen Kane.
I bet you don't even know who Buster Keaton is.
I know who Buster Keaton is.
Yeah, right.
How do you not appreciate the scene? This is very Keaton-esque.
No, the only, well, I guess I
Keaton.
haven't seen like any Buster Keaton like films, but I've seen all of his stunts, and all of them are far more impressive than what I saw in that sledding scene.
Yeah, but there's like
I don't know who
there's a
Buster
lot of
Keaton
like
is, actually.
there's a lot of like sped up like footage and
Sure.
stuff things that he does also.
Who's Buster Keaton?
He was
he's
like
a
in
pretty
the silent
famous like.
film era, pretty
Yeah.
famous.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's take a peek at him, shall we?
Like he did. Like,
This might be interesting, actually, if you pull something like that up.
You'll probably have seen some of like the scenes and stuff.
It's kind
Okay.
of nuts
Randomly.
what this man has done.
Like
One
this
I think
actually
about all
was
it-
back from like the early like 20th
Yes.
century. Kind
Yeah,
These
of
are
thing.
like,
all of
okay.
these stunts are real. He did these things.
When I was
Wait,
6
what?
months old, we're in some little town, small hotel, and I fell down
Holy shit!
to the bottom.
You saying this is real?
Yep.
I sat up.
Well, some of it's not. But
Sure. But like you can tell sometimes when like he does a. I mean that fall certainly seemed real. But there are some stunts where it's like
Yeah, look, them running here. That's the vibe you get
sure.
during. That's the skiing.
And look at the cartoonishness of him
The
getting like
cartooniness,
blown
like,
away by that.
Because this is the silent film era. Everything
Yeah.
has to be so exaggerated.
Animated.
You can't speak.
Mhm.
And
It's just music
no-
and motion.
and that's why like there's no words in the entire ski scene. It's just animate your motion as much as possible to get
What?
across the stuff that's happening.
Like imagine
I mean,
seeing
dude,
this stuff
you
in this
watch
era.
and you can see how much Wes Anderson loved this era of film.
Just imagine if Grand Budapest Hotel was in black and white. It would look just like this.
Identical, actually. Look at this shot. This is a super Wes Anderson looking shot.
Damn.
I wonder if it'll be in this montage, but there's one I always think about where you're like on the front of a train.
Yes.
And
Oh
there's, like,
yeah.
a bunch of, like,
I think
big logs
that
of
was in
wood
the
and you just,
thumbnail,
like-
so it might be here.
Yeah.
I always remember the house wall falling on him. Oh, this
Oh,
one's
yeah, that
nuts
was
too.
really
Just
What?
zip.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, this dude was like a master of physical comedy.
Whoa.
The car just disintegrates.
Wow.
This shit is legitimately dangerous,
Wow.
man.
Oh, this was the original.
Oh, oh shit.
What? Dude.
Throw gags out right and left when we're shooting because they don't stand up and they don't work well. And then the
What?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
dude.
Here it is.
Holy
Here it is.
shit.
Yeah, this is
So,
the one.
awesome.
so these are the original TikTokers.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, exactly.
this is a real train
He's
moving.
literally
like,
on this train.
he doesn't get this
Wow.
right. Bad things happen.
Yep.
Yeah, like he falls under it, he is dead.
Oh shit.
Look at the shit he's doing. Just
Oh shit.
Wow.
Oh fuck.
How do you do this?
I just,
How do you even do? That's
Damn.
like actual wind, right?
it has
How
to
do
be.
you do this?
see, it's like it's crazy how we don't even know how he did this. And this was like I don't know,
The
like probably the 30s,
1920s or something.
1920s.
How that?
Holy shit.
It doesn't say in the title.
I can see why Wes Anderson is
Oh,
adore
what?
this kind of
Stop
movie.
this!
Holy
Rubber
shit.
Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she was actually gonna die.
Oh, and there's the dummy. Holy
Oh.
shit! Wow!
What is this, Wonder Woman 1984?
Oh my god. That's still so scary.
It's
These,
absolutely
these are
scary.
probably around the 20s, kind of when he was making movies.
Jesus.
That's right. We eliminated subtitles just as fast as we could if we could possibly tell it in action.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Well,
This
sure you
one,
stay in the
this one right
restaurant.
here.
this one. Too. Just so fuck.
in the middle.
Oh.
The middle
Not on his mark. He's dead.
Yeah, his crew. I think there was a story of his crew like begged him not to do that stunt.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was 21 years old, that's in the spring of 1917.
okay, like I get it. I get why people like Wes Anderson love this shit, and they're
Yeah.
like, I'm inspired by this to
Yeah.
make movies.
The pictures
Yeah.
with Roscoe Arbuckle. I mean, his pictures are the first ones I appeared in.
But even then,
And I'd only been with him a
personally,
short
I
time.
didn't
There's something
quite
wrong.
enjoy the sled scene.
Bear in mind,
I can understand.
And I
Oh
don't
my
think
god,
that there's
no
any-
way.
motion picture
Anything wrong with that?
is 12
Is he
years
actually with lines?
No
here?
way. No, I don't think so.
old. Sure
They're-
entertained you.
But this was also back when these whole. I bet that
He
this
might
gotta be
actually-
real.
Remember,
This
they
has
didn't
gotta
That's
be real.
insane if
back
he
then.
is.
There's something
I mean, that's back when they were actually using
How
just,
else?
like,
How else would they
lions
have done
stuff in
this?
films. Yeah. Like they didn't have CG lions, obviously.
Oh,
They never had CG back then.
these shots are
Dude, it's
like,
insane.
wow.
Oh, do not tell me he's. God damn it.
I love it.
That's
That's like one of my
good.
favorite things.
That's
He's
really
so
good.
at just
What?
the window.
Oh, what?
Like some of the effects they did, this it's just genius.
How the hell
Obviously,
did you do that?
you have,
Wow.
you have to be really smart with the low tech.
Oh my god.
It was like magical illusions.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you had to be, is just be a
You had to be a
magician.
magician, right?
hmm So, yeah,
Damn.
I can see how Wes Anderson wanted to emulate some sort of style of that.
Mhm.
Couldn't tell you why it didn't work for me, but there you go.
just-
I
yeah,
think you're
I don't think that
absolutely
there's
right,
gonna
though,
be
that
a
that's what he
reason.
was trying to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
When you see it, it really does click.
Ba, ba, ba.
Where we at?
I just remembered. I see Willem Dafoe's dumbass like shocked face as he zooms in on him in his fucking robes. That's where I left off there. Yeah, so we're going through the.
Well,
the
don't
sledding-
ruin the magic for me.
Just a wizard, so how can we trust anything you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Wizards-
Mongols don't understand wizards.
Wizards are gonna keep each other wizard friends secrets.
So they
Grant you magic sanctuary.
so Gustave and Zero get hit by like the finish line at the end of that little luge sequence. Gustave is hanging by a thread on the cliff. Zero is just boots up in the snow,
Too
and
good.
Willem Dafoe is slowly starting to like crumble the patch of ice that Gustave is clinging to.
Stomping on the ice, yeah.
Once again, Gustave starts trying to recite some poetry, and before he can finish, Zero just like linebackers Willem Dafoe off the
Boom.
cliff. And I love that Gustave's like,
Shoves him.
"Holy shit, you got him!"
Dude, the way
When he
that
falls,
Yes.
his body is flipping.
Oh
and
yeah, it's like
thrashing
straight up. That's
around.
some Wile E. Coyote shit.
Can we find that clip? Because I
Probably,
remember
yeah.
it like being really wild and violent. The way he's flopping around.
You
What
only
was
see it
this?
for a little bit. Like you only see
Just
like
a
maybe
second,
one,
but you
like-
just see.
Yeah.
It feels like a
After-
doll. It feels like
after
someone threw a
Yep.
doll off a
because
cliff.
fairly quickly, like Gustave's body is like blocking it. You can't even see him anymore.
Yeah.
It makes me think, like, especially after watching that Buster Keaton stuff, that like they intentionally had this like doll, as if Buster Keaton did this, they threw a doll off a cliff,
Like a
and
rag.
that's like a rag doll off a cliff, and that's what it
Yeah,
looked
it was
like.
flopping around like crazy.
Which gives it that horrifying look, like it's
see.
scary, because things shouldn't move like that.
Yeah. Huh. Actually, let me take a look here. Yeah, it looks
You
like
have this
there's
thing on,
a
like,
yeah. Here
YouTube
we
or
go.
on- are you on HBO?
There's a carnage count which goes through all of the death scenes. So
Carnage count.
that's the only place that I can find his actual death
Okay,
scene here.
well, it exists here.
Yes.
So we should have the Ratatouille music play with this. Look at how disgusting it is.
Yeah.
Really freaky.
Yeah.
Me breathes, me lost, me fears, said he.
Dude, there's something so disgusting about that.
Yeah.
Why? When the Death Squad shows up, he's like, "Oh, this is our first encounter with the Death Squad," like as if they're just a group coming through.
Yes. So Willem Dafoe fucking bites it, and then we see the police have caught up with Gustave and Zero. Kind of. They're like on the other side of the mountain with the megaphone.
Don't run.
They give a little moment of silence to Surge, and then they just speed over to the motorcycle while all these gunshots are firing.
And the guns are hilarious in this movie too, because they're always just like
None of
pop
them ever
guns.
hit anything.
Yeah.
Nobody gets shot in this
very
movie.
light. They all sound like prop guns recorded in the studio and not like big overt gun sounds that are post in there.
The TIE
And I
fighter
bet
sounds
that was
he falls
intentional.
to. So we get to the point where Gustave and Zero get back to the hotel, and they send in Agatha to recover the boy with Apple, and this is the scene where I'm just like, oh, she's alive.
Oh no.
Oh, Jared.
Oh, poor Gerald.
I tried my best.
Just wasn't good enough.
It wasn't. And like, damn it, I'm just frozen on this scene right here, or this shot, and just how vibrant and pink the Mendel's car is with like the baby blue outfits and
Very
stuff.
bright blue
Yeah.
outfits.
Yeah.
The color palette's insane.
Yeah. So she's going in there to get the painting. HBO Max just crashed. There we go. Oh, shut up.
HBO.
And then it turns out Dimitri and gang are checking into the hotel, and she spots Agatha.
Also, like Owen Wilson's just here for 3 seconds, basically.
Oh, is he
like
in this scene? I thought he was just one of the dudes on the phone.
Yeah. Concierge, or like one of the Nazi concierge or something.
Yeah.
No, I think he's just taking over.
Okay, he's just taking over.
Yeah, I guess
Or
another
Gustave.
important thing to mention is like this hotel is now like housing a bunch of the military here. It's kind of being like occupied. So there's a lot of people with guns here. We meet the new lobby boy who just got some loose lips, and Zero scolds him for it.
He's not a stone wall, apparently.
Yeah. Dimitri discovers that Agatha is carrying the boy with Apple. He's got a bit of a creeper scene in the elevator as he slowly just like
That
rips
slow-
open
Ripped
Ooh.
open.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
But I like the I'm just right here in the little moment. That little moment where he's slowly following her through the hallways, and then she turns a corner and it cuts to her just like running down, and then it pans to his face and he's just like, fuck. He just
Dude, an absolute national treasure moment right there.
Oh, yeah.
She Nicolas Caged right out of there.
Totally did.
And then here we just get to the scene of just like the shootout in the middle of the gallery of the hotel where nobody
So
hits
good.
anybody.
And nobody died.
So innocent and childlike. Like you don't even feel like there's a threat because again, the guns sound like pop, pop, pop. Like they sound delicate, and when things shatter, it just sounds like a little vase breaking. Like nothing seems dangerous at all.
They also, it's also goofy. Like they do close-ups of like people looking out their door with like a gun. Like everyone's just got like a bigger and bigger gun, and they're just kind of like kicking out because they hear the
It
guns.
starts to feel almost like a Naked Gun scene, like a
It does,
yeah.
like a Leslie Nielsen shot is what it
it's
feels
just this-
like.
Yep.
Yeah, you expect to see like a nun or something. Like
Right? Yeah.
And the chief of police walks in and he's like, "What's going on here? Everybody stop firing!" Demetrius is like,
Stop
I'm
shooting,
shooting
and
at
they do.
this guy because he's like murdered my mom or something." And then Dimitri fires back with like, I'm this person, and Dimitri is like blah blah blah. He murdered his family and a bunch of other people. And then there's just like a beat of silence. It's like, all right, everyone here is under arrest. It's just fucking
was so
goofy.
good.
This is around the time where Agatha discovers the piece of paper that's hidden behind the boy with Apple.
yeah, 'cause
My-
she's-
that's
she's out the window.
Yeah,
just hanging.
She is
she's
out the
hanging on a
window.
balcony. Zero tries to save her and ends up hanging on the same balcony.
And
in a
those
very
are
Looney
like, the
Tunes-esque
stuff we just
moment.
watched. Like this is like that Buster Keaton stuff now that I
Yes.
see. Like
Yes.
everything about it, the way he falls out, the frame
Falls, the way
rate when
they're
they go
holding
through
on.
things, the
Mhm.
way the way they hold on, the way their bodies look when they're dangling, it
Yep.
just felt so much like what we just watched.
Yep. And what was kind of hilarious is like the moment Agatha points out that there's a piece of paper behind the painting, all conflict stops, and it's all resolved because they find
well,
it. They
'cause
have
all
the
just
paper
sit
and they're
down
just
nicely and read the piece of paper.
yeah.
Oh,
And this
It's
is where
funny.
we discover that in the event of Tilda Swinton's murder, all of her estate will go to Gustave. I'm assuming she had some sort
Oh,
of
nice.
inkling that her family was trying to murder her at some point. So
Sure.
she had that little backup.
just in case.
Yes. And so this is essentially where the movie starts wrapping up in terms of like Zero becomes the new concierge, and
Back to
Gustave
being
is the new
narrated by
owner.
old Zero right
Yep.
now as well.
Gustave is the new owner. He has his harem of old white blonde women.
Yes.
And then it's sort of.
It's going through the history. It's also like this is also when old Zero was talking about like and then like obviously Gustav like he dies young, but it hasn't said exactly how that happens yet because there's still
Yeah.
a scene to show that. And then like and then like Agatha and my child like they're dead too, and
This
Like, they
is
died
this is
from this,
another
like really treatable disease. Like,
yeah.
oh.
This is another one of those things where I guess like this is another one of those moments that I can point to of just like
I didn't feel it.
I didn't connect
I didn't
with
feel
the
anything.
characters, and there's like and I think now that I'm thinking about it and like looking at this whole like wrap up sequence, that almost feels like kind of on purpose of just like I don't know, like these big important characters like, oh yeah, now she's dead and now like he's also next and
Oh, shit, what?
successful. My
Hello.
goodness. I thought for sure that this
Exactly.
all right, we should be back now. Okay.
Hey.
So we're at the
Heyo.
point where everything's sort of wrapping up. But yeah, I don't know if it made it through before my internet caught out. But like, what's up?
Can I connect to you to the parsec, please?
You can try. I can't guarantee that you'll stay on it.
If
it's not working, don't.
I promise you
Maybe
nothing.
Parsec's a bad idea.
Maybe
Yeah,
we leave
maybe
Parsec down
you
for a
should
second.
just
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
don't
give
don't
Parsec
accept
a
my
try.
request.
don't.
Oh, I wasn't even
Just,
seeing any requests. That's probably a good sign.
Oh.
Yeah, then let's.
Oh
let's
shit! Okay, let's
That's
just
not-
let's
that's
drop
not
the
a good sign.
parsec.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will just watch the Twitch. Watch through the Twitch.
So I don't know if what I was saying made it through or got cut out or not, but like we didn't have any emotional death moments with like Agatha or Gustave as much. They were kind of just like said in passing, and I feel like that was kind of intentional, just because that's not what this movie was trying to do. It's not that what this movie was trying to be.
Right.
Its characters were almost always
Yeah.
kind of just like almost like puppets or something, of just like they're here to tell a story, and they're not trying to like pull your heartstrings with this or make you feel super connected to them. It was almost like a puppet show or a theater thing.
Yeah, I think like puppet show's pretty good. Like it was more about the performance of the story than it was about the story itself.
So that's I'm kind of
And
putting the
only
pieces
issue I have
together.
with
as
that,
to
like
why I
the
feel
only
that
issue I
way.
have with that when we get to the point when it's talking about like Agatha being dead and stuff is that like it does open up with like the movie opens basically when we finally get down into the layers with Zero of like how did you come by the how do you own this hotel and why do you still stay here, like why
Yeah.
do you still own it, what is your attachment to the place, and like we go through all of this movie to find out that like the reason he has this place is partly because of Agatha, and the reason he sticks around is because of Agatha, and so it wants us to be emotional about her not being
Does.
around.
Like you can tell that he is like
Wow.
perfect.
everybody.
And we're back. This stream has been
Somehow.
officially split up into 3 parts because we've been
Perfect.
disconnected
Yay.
for so long on certain occasions.
And they're very equal parts that have been.
Blah 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 blah. Movie ends. So we can get to the
Yeah,
scores.
movie's over.
So for me, I feel like I've pretty much made this clear, like from the beginning and throughout this review.
I hate it.
Everything.
Huh.
This movie was so beautiful and intricately like crafted. I
Just like
appreciated.
Encanto.
I appreciated that so much. It was very, very just quality entertainment. Even if it was exhausting to watch, it's because I felt so invested trying to enjoy it as much as I could, or like make sure I caught as much as I could because there was so much detail packed into this. That being said, again, there was no sort of major emotional connection for me with any of the characters or the story. It was all just quality at what it does, but I didn't really have any personal stakes or connection with it. This is I'm put in a weird spot where like that doesn't feel like that big of a detriment to the movie for me because I still really enjoyed it. But because there was not that emotional component for me, that kind of disqualifies it from being a 9 or a 10. So I think this is an 8 for me.
All right.
8 out of 10.
That's
That's
Super
pretty
solid.
high. I mean, I was expecting you giving like a 6 or 7.
Whoa, no.
Yeah.
I think this was another classic where Jared had like things to say that were critical, but it didn't mean that it brought down the whether or not it was a good movie or it was a
Yeah.
highly rated movie.
Yeah. And I don't really feel like I had all that much critical to say about it other than like the key aspect that would push it above an 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm
That's fair.
very similar. Let's go with Jerry. I want to hear Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh, me? Me already? Okay. So I'm giving 9 out of 10. And if we separate the section like a visual, almost like a perfect.
Uh-huh.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, oh, the
Story
visual,
was
totally.
so well constructed, not like the movie we mentioned that we should not name. Story was well constructed, everything was connected. There was not single story that was wasted, other than like a comical scene. And music was well placed. It's not like a memorable music, but it was so well picked and well placed. And the in the last, but not the least, the characters, they all had their role. The Mushi and they all had their charming point. Like a Mushi Gustave, obviously he had the character that was very charming, and the Jero had their role and characters, and he was like an entire. And the other characters also had their role. Like the lawyer was like he's doing his job. Also, he's very kind of like a justice characters in the movie. In the movie, there were not a lot of like characters that seek justice or something like doing right, but he was one of them. And like some, it's going forever if I describe all the characters, but they were all well placed. They had their role. So 9 out of 10.
Nice.
I don't know what the image is going to be just yet. We'll have to decide.
I like the idea of the cat being
That's great.
the dead cat, but we could decide on that later.
Steven, you're up.
So yep.
All right. I think originally I was going into this. I'm just gonna keep the score that I had originally thought.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 also, along with Jared. Even though for some reason I felt like I liked it more than him. But to me, but I do agree that 9 and 10 is a very biased score for me, and it just doesn't quite reach that threshold. I really enjoyed the movie a lot, and I would watch it again. But is it a movie I would watch a lot, like once a year or like a bunch of times, like constantly? Probably not.
Same idea.
Like
Oh no, you're not. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying like it's just definitely one of those movies where you need to be in the mood for it. I was in the mood for it this time around, but I don't know if I would like it as much if I wasn't in the mood for it, is the thing. So me wanting to watch it and like being like into it pushes it up to like to an 8 around like that sort of thing. But like the vibe and the feeling and everything of the movie, just the style that it had, it's just super charming to me. I can't get over it. I like it a lot. But it doesn't quite reach the 9 threshold because it's not like my favorite movie sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's very, very solid.
Very good.
I think that's pretty fair, actually.
All right, Andrew, what
All
you
right,
got?
and then we'll blast mine out here. So, yeah, like, I'm gonna do that same sort of scale that I showed y'all last time.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, like originality is like the originality of the idea, and then creativity is like the execution of that idea. So those are the difference between those two categories. So originality, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I think it is a very original idea. Like the type of characters and stuff, like the way, like the actual concept, I think is original. Even if it is like based off of like someone's writing and stuff like that. It's not like a typical like Hollywood type of story and like the type of concept in the world. Like it does feel original. And the only reason, again, like 9 and 10 is always reserved for do I have some emotional like stake in it, and then I don't in this one. So 8 is like I have nothing bad to say about it. So 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. It's just like
it's I can't.
It's the highest. It's the highest threshold of a movie that I like that is good.
Exactly.
But doesn't quite reach the personal good.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, I can't tell you that anything really that bad about this movie that would like bring it down.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you that I like have it changed me in some way. You know.
Yeah.
I will say this because this is another reason I gave it an 8 is because I was comparing it to Moonrise Kingdom. I'm like, I think Moonrise Kingdom is a 9 for me because I really like that movie. It's not quite a 10. It's not like completely perfect. But I was like, I don't know if I can feasibly put Grand Budapest Hotel on the same level.
Yeah,
even,
that's good.
Yeah, even some of the other movies, like I either liked equally or maybe a little bit more. It's just this one's just a very solid movie.
Very solid.
Now this does reawaken like my interest in the like this type of movie. Like
I definitely
like, a new Wes Anderson movie. Like I would.
I'm kind of in the Wes Anderson mood now. So,
okay,
I'm the opposite currently. I wish I was.
It would be. Well, I wouldn't want to watch this movie again, like immediately, but I definitely want to like. I either want to go back and rewatch Moonrise Kingdom or watch the new one, or I never watched the one with the submarine. I forget what that one was called.
Oh yeah, the Tan Aquatic or whatever.
Yeah, whatever that one is. I never saw that one either. Like I kind of want to go back and watch that now. I probably will never rewatch Isle of Dogs, even though I
really didn't connect with.
I in general like that one. I didn't mind
it. Was executed fine. There's lots of like beauty and like character to it. I just didn't connect with it like at all. But I also watched it on an airplane. I don't know. All right. I'll just blast these other ones out real quick. So creativity, 8 out of 10 for the same exact reason. Like this is obviously Wes Anderson. It's unique. It is creative and it's well executed. But again, 9 to 10 saved for like the type of execution like really had an impact on me. So the low scores are a theme and story for this for me. There is no like super strong theme. The one that I like sort of discerned from it myself was this idea of loneliness, which I could attribute to like it seemed to always exist at different parts of the movie, but it didn't really like work hard to like bring it across. It really let just sort of the performance be a little bit more important than that. So like to me like a theme exists, but it's not one that's like super strong and doesn't go out of its way. So I gave it a 5 out of 10 for theme. And story is also, and this one's probably like biased, but story gets a 5 out of 10 as well, just because the story is solid. Like there's nothing wrong with the story, but it's also not doing anything like really crazy and like well, the story is one where I really expect a lot of emotion from it. So like to me, like and that's really biased, is like I want emotion out of storytelling, and the fact that this story like exists and is like well organized and paced is good enough to get it a 5 and say like it is good. But for it to get anything like up towards like 6, 7, 8, and obviously into 9 and 10, it needs to like be doing something to me, because story is probably like the one I'm most critical of. So 5 out of 10.
Sure.
And then of course, so I did visual last time for like the last one, but I'm like, but what about audio and stuff as well? So I just said presentation. So visual, audio, all of that. And obviously that's a 9 out of 10. It's Wes Anderson. It's gorgeous. I'm blown away by how beautiful. Even in I love the flat camera movements, just like a dolly or a truck. There's no like camera movement. It's just flat. I love that so much because it feels comic. It feels animated. So 9 out of 10. Like I do have an emotional response to. So that all equals out to a 7 out of 10 for me.
All right. Nice. The lowest of the 4.
But
as expected.
that's
As
like,
expected,
like,
yes.
to me that's a good score.
That is a
Like,
good
I
score,
really
yeah.
do
We
think
we all know that. I think we all know
Absolutely,
that.
Like
Yeah.
that.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
To think that a 7 out of 10 is the lowest score is
that's pretty good. Like our
It
average,
proves
our
that this
average,
movie
is,
was
our
great,
average is
yeah.
an 8, right? Like I think between the four of us.
I think it's exactly an 8, right?
Yeah. 2 8s, a 9, and a 7. So, yeah, that's exactly an 8.
Yeah, you guys kept talking about you couldn't like being emotional, but I thought the same because I was like as kind of like a same as a general situation, not exactly the same, but I was actually kind of like the immigrant. I was working outside of the country that I was born,
Yeah.
and I actually met like a good person, good teacher, and good friends. Just like you're not exactly you. Nah, you guys are not good
We're not
friends.
good
You're talking about the man at the spot, right?
just kidding. No.
Jerry was a lobby boy.
Yeah,
No.
and your Gustav was what's his name?
Kyle.
Ken or Kyle.
Yeah. Well, no, not him, but I actually met a lot of good teachers that, not like a real teacher, but
Right.
taught me a good lesson in life in USA.
Mm.
So I actually was very
You connected with it.
into the. I was connected, and I was deeply impressed
That's great.
in
Nice.
the end. Yeah.
Well, that's
Although it was not like a
nine out of 10.
crucial theme in the movie, but I was deeply emotionally connected.
I think that like
throughout the
that's what
movie.
really matters. Usually the theme is just there to sort of like help guide like how you connect with it. But if you're able to like connect just with the performance of the characters and what they're going through, like that's still like 9 out of 10 territory for me.
Yeah. At some point, I was the general in the movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not whole movie though.
Did you also get slapped in the face 42 times, Jerry?
Tell me about that 40-second stat.
It was 41, but let's keep it that way.
And in case anybody on this Discord call hasn't noticed yet, I've taken the liberty of making our souvenirs.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I see this now. I just noticed it.
I see.
There you go. Oh,
love
that's awesome. I love it.
Let me know if anybody has any other
no one will
suggestions.
know what that is.
That's true.
William
Very
Tapo.
I almost want to. I want their faces now to be like Willem Dafoe.
Oh, like Willem
it's two
Dafoe
Willem
faces?
Dafoes making out with each other, and then you just like somehow like just erase or censor the other parts, and then we cut it out so it's like a doll sitting on the desk.
Oh my
Ew.
god.
A doll of two naked Willem Dafoes making out with each other.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, hang on. I could at least cut out like the white part and maybe we can still make it look like they're just like legs over the desk kind of thing.
Oh,
Sure,
would y'all be into that? Like cutting it out?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, let's do that. I'm into that.
All right.
Do it, Jared.
Just an easy
Live Photoshop.
bam.
Got to do it on the Twitch so I can see. Oh, it's already done. Nice.
All I do
There you
is
go.
erase it.
Goodness.
Wow.
It's perfect.
There you go.
I love this that they actually fit into the table now.
Lord Almighty, this movie has moved the creativity in you. Oh, we bring out our A game now.
Yeah. This is the most Wes Anderson reminder of a movie we've ever had.
So, I'm gonna try something a little different for the wheel.
Interesting. I hope that we don't lose the stream in the middle of something new.
Yes. For anybody who
Hey,
hasn't,
Did you see Roka's message? He can't put the thread in because he's on mobile, but he just wants Fifth Element.
you
added.
got it. So I'm going to transition over to the screen. So here is, I haven't made it yet, but here's the wheel that we always use. You'll see it in a couple seconds, Threads. There is
I hate the delay.
there is a little button on each of these sort of categories. Hang on, let's get rid of the Grand Budapest
Increase the
Hotel.
weight.
To increase the weight. So right now everything is the
Oh.
same. So there is a new channel points reward
Oh,
where you can
Ooh,
pay
baby.
10,000 J-Coons for me to hit the plus button once. The catch is that if
10,000.
multiple people do it, the amount that the weight gets increased changes. So like if
Oh,
one
like
person does
Oh,
it,
well done.
well, I didn't do this. This is just how it kind of works. So if,
Oh,
if a
okay.
bunch of people like increase their weight on the wheel, then that will decrease the total amount that is increased for each person, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Okay, like it just reduces proportionally.
Yes. So
Pomo has redeemed an increase.
so has
so has
boats.
Oh,
boats.
don't do it right now.
Yep. You get a total
And we
of
just- and then
you
they-
get a
and then
total
they- you
of
have to
3
specify-
increases per person.
Okay.
So there's that.
And then you specify which movie you're affecting, right? Or is it?
You can if you want to do that. Yeah. Sure. Let's do that. So hang on. Let me just get rid of the. Let's just do fucking 100 redemptions. Why not?
All right, I got 3 redemptions.
3 redemptions for I'm assuming Wakefield.
Yes.
Okay. So 3 redemptions for Wakefield. 1 for boats. You did.
But the thing is, it doesn't guarantee you.
It
to be
doesn't.
picked.
It doesn't
and that's the
guarantee it,
thing.
no.
So it's expensive, but it also doesn't guarantee it. So
I
hopefully
got
people
points.
will find themselves in a position where they might not have enough points to just keep spamming their movie every single time.
I like
Because it might not
that
get
this
picked.
exists. So
Yeah.
I want to say, so I don't have a problem with it, but I also
I
have
am never
100
going to do it
redemptions.
because I have infinite points. So I'm off the
Right,
table,
right.
but everyone else can do this. So feel free to get your
Can
redemptions in
can
while
I
I make.
could I purchase an increase for a different person if I wanted to?
I guess
that I'm doing
yes.
that
I
now,
guess yes,
but if I
but
was
you
like,
still only get
Jared,
3
I'll-
redemptions per person. But yes, I
Right,
didn't think about
But I
that,
could-
but I think you
But
sure.
I could be
why
like,
not?
hey, I'm gonna send 10,000 towards Jared's movie.
Yeah, sure.
Not that I'm doing that right now.
I'm not. I won't.
I
I'll never
would
do
say
it, but-
sure, that's fair game. All right, so Fifth Element is still there. Little Big Soldier, I think boats suggested again. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Let me
Oh,
Need
just
to add Coco. As
Yep.
Coco.
Pomo.
I'll just make this wheel. Y'all can get your redemptions in while you can. So
Oh,
Thing,
Jerry, you put
Wakefield,
Chef. Nice.
That's a good movie.
Whiplash,
Chef is good.
Little Big
like a
Soldier,
good
Fifth
food movie.
Element. We want Coco.
Boondock
Coco.
Saints should be on there.
Yep. Chef.
Element should still already be on there already.
Fifth Element's there, yep.
Yeah.
And Boondock. The Boondock Saints. All right. These are the same color, and that bugs me. There we go.
Yeah.
Ew.
Alrighty, so
Maybe
let me get
I'm looking at
to
delayed wheel.
let
I'm
me
looking at
get
the
to
same wheel
the
that chat's looking at. Gross.
the
I know. I don't
weights
like
now.
this delay.
Pomo increased Coco, so Coco gets a +1. Boink.
What was boats?
Boats's was Little Big Soldier. It'll
Yep.
get a +1. And then, so 20%, 20%. Cool, this is working right. And then Steven
I'm actually
increased
surprised both
3
knows
times.
a little bit closer.
3,
1,
baby.
2, 3. Oh, Steven, you're going to feel real
1,
bad if
2,
Wakefield doesn't
3.
get picked.
Holy shit.
Hold on. Now I want to redeem 3 and just watch.
No.
I just want to see us dominate this wheel right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it like this because I think
Okay.
this is actually fairly balanced, and I'm
All
gonna
right.
feel really good if mine gets picked.
So we got the Fifth Element there. Okay, so Rokas
And
is
also,
still
I really
represented.
like Wakefield, so
I just know it's gonna land on Coco. That's all.
it's don't say
Not
it.
the Coco.
Listen, I like Coco. I just don't want Pomo to win.
Well, that's the problem. The fact that Pomo is the one submitting it is the issue.
Hang on.
Yeah, that's the only issue. You keep getting away with it.
We have a 1-minute prediction in the chat.
Will it be Coco?
That's your points if you want to stock some up for next wheel.
I would just say
Holy
no
shit.
because I don't want it. I don't want the Coco.
This is as
That's a
classic
villain
of
art.
gambling betting as you can get.
Yeah.
Literally betting on the outcome of a wheel. Because you see that there is a 15.4% chance that it is Coco.
Yes. As compared to Wakefield, which is
A 30.8% chance.
That's pretty high.
Roka, hello. If you don't choose my movie, I unsub. Well, if you haven't noticed, Roka,
Oh yeah, there's an addition.
there
yeah.
is a new channel point redemption where you can pay 10,000 J-Coons for me to hit the plus button on your.
Chose my movie, I unsub.
I can hit the plus button on your movie one time, and you can do that up to 3 times. Steven has done it 3 times.
So this is what it
I
looks like.
have.
So if you do redeem it, your wedge
will
will get
shrink it.
bigger, and all the other people who have redeemed their wedges will get slightly smaller. But
Right.
the big thing is that yours
That's
will get
the
bigger.
dastardly move of it.
So, I
Broken
think
pay to
the,
win. Not broken. We're just in.
It's more like a pay to
incentivizing-
get a chance.
So 53% of people say that it won't be Coco. 47% say it will. Okay.
I predicted yes because it's a win-win. If it is yes, I get points.
There you go.
If it's no, I still win because it's not Coco. It's not-
That's so true. I
Jesus.
at least want to get something.
yeah,
Edge in the
something
bet suit.
positive will come from this.
Are you actually smart?
All right.
A little bit.
I am going to spin the wheel, and I will keep silence and let y'all react to it when you see it, because
But
you
it'll
have
be such a
delay.
delayed reaction, Jared.
I know.
I know we.
I know.
You need to tell us, otherwise we're gonna.
No, it's okay. We'll have the delay, and Jared will stay absolutely silent.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so here
You're
we
gonna
go.
have to
Spinning
tip
the
your
wheel in
mouse.
3, 2, 1. Zing.
Okay, it's not too far behind.
I'd like
Mine
3
is.
seconds.
And
Oh!
is it Jerry?
Chef!
What's Jerry?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Jerry wins.
Oh, Steve, I'm
And he
sorry.
didn't spend 1 cent.
Just barely not Boondock saying sorry, Diesel.
rigged.
I didn't even come to
We'll
point.
never ever look. Steven, look at how far away it is from yours.
It's the furthest possible point without being. It's the furthest
Without
possible
being
point
Coco.
without being Coco. So I lose on all.
You lose everything. You lose
I
everything.
feel bad for
God.
Pomo and
Yeah.
Steve at the same time.
Uh,
That's what you already knew that it doesn't guarantee you to win.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Jared, I want my money back.
You don't
I
get
Hey,
it.
say
Can I
goodbye
refund
to your
my own
30,000 point.
You don't get it. All right. I'm going to try and
What?
remember this time to actually watch the.
Are we gonna do it now
The
on
trailer.
stream?
Yeah,
Watch the
why not?
trailer?
We're still
Can we
online.
try to parsec in and see
Yes.
if that works?
Yep. Let me just
Okay.
complete this prediction here. It
sounds
was
good.
not Coco. So Steven was a lose-lose.
Oh damn it! I lost so much.
I only bet 500, so it's fine.
Bet 1,000.
Oof.
I was about to bet 10,000 and say like I really think it's gonna be Coco.
Win, baby.
All right. Feel free to
Well, I
parsec
don't
in.
see you. Oh, here you go.
Yes, you are here. What up, Ninja? Sorry if you've put a
Hey,
movie
Ninja.
request in. I did not see it in time if you did.
I won't say I have seen Chef.
I have also seen Chef.
I have not.
Oh.
I am not aware of this movie whatsoever.
But it's John Favreau. It's food. So
Oh, hang on. Let me.
It's